This is where the fun begins.
Dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
We're back. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Sithcast podcast, a Star Wars podcast where we pretty much talk anything and everything Star Wars. I'm one of your hosts, PJ the Paradoxer. Oh, okay. Where's Sean? This is week 20 now.
Yeah,
still moving.
Still moving.
His room is in. It's getting in order, and I actually
tell him to just get on the cell phone and just hop on.
I actually, before Thanksgiving, I said, dude, what you ought to do is, because it was one of them weeks where you had me come on 2 in a row, and I was like, dude, you ought to come over to my house and then just like pull up the chair and we'll just do it here. It'd be so much fun, especially just don't say nothing. Like 5-10 minutes into it, I just look over and there you are. And problem is like, he's putting his jammies on at like 7 and now he lives like 15 minutes from me versus 5.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, his room's coming together. He's got some stuff. We're getting ready to do something pretty badass to his closet because he's putting his desk and he's going to put a lot of autographs in there. And we're gonna do something with the casing of the door and put lights in it and stuff. So it's gonna be pretty badass.
Yeah. But I talked to him last week, and he said he's planning to come on in like a couple weeks from this Wednesday. I think he's trying to like make sure he gets everything together and he could start getting back into the swing of things. But, in the meanwhile, we got some awesome guests tonight. We got Steven.
Appreciate it.
Coming back.
On.
Yep.
Glad to have you back, my brother. So thank you for hopping on on tonight's show.
For sure.
Also,
always a fun time.
We got Anthony, a.k.a. the Sithcast Holocron, back again.
Yep.
So we definitely have a lot of things to talk about. Obviously, we didn't stream last week because it was Thanksgiving. And yeah, just life gets in the way. But I do want to just kind of like, I think, by the way, there's quite a few streams going on. So if you guys took the time to hop on this stream, we really appreciate it. But I just want to just say a couple things before we get started, because just to piggyback off, I guess the Thanksgiving that we just had last week. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone that takes the time out of their busy schedule to tune in on Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern time, to watch our show. I think we've been doing this for quite some time now. I think about I would say 3 or probably 4 to 5 years now in terms of the podcast. I know it's been a long time. It feels like forever that we've been doing it, but it's just one of those platforms where I'm glad that we, Sean and I have to kind of like use it to kind of like, talk Star Wars, right? So from the bottom of our hearts, we just want to say thank you to everyone that has been tuning in to watch us. So, but yeah, with that being said, let's get on with the show. Steven, let's just talk about Thanksgiving, Black Friday shopping. By the way, shout out to Rebel Scum. Thank you for tuning in. What's how was your Thanksgiving? Did you pick up anything in terms of any of the Black Friday sales that was happening in the past couple weeks?
Yeah, it seems like there was quite a bit going on, but not the deals of past, it seems. So I don't think I picked up anything other than some Christmas gifts and whatnot, nothing for myself. But it was a good Thanksgiving. Just kind of spent some time with some family, some friends. So it was a good time.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Yourself? You guys travel or anything, or you guys were
just stayed home. did some Black Friday shopping.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, actually, I was really good. I was kind of good. Maybe I've been. We'll talk about it a little bit later in terms
A little
of
too
when we
much.
start. Yeah, I think I'm just kind of like maybe saving up for some stuff, but yeah, we'll definitely chime on that a little bit later. But Anthony, how was your Thanksgiving, my brother?
It was pretty good. I went up to North Carolina for the week and
Yeah.
came back on Saturday morning. And,
Yeah.
I did get a pretty nice, it was the size of it, but it was a frame matted. It was Vader on the toilet reading the paper.
Mm-hmm.
My girlfriend got it for me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. I got it in the bathroom, so that's really the only thing Star Wars I picked up, other than the Anakin versus Obi-Wan is en route, so hopefully I'll have that.
Oh,
I'd like to have
Which
a Star Wars.
which statue is that, or which company?
it's like fan art.
No, it's
Well, custom. It's a custom.
yeah, it's a custom.
Oh, okay, one of those. It's quarter
Yeah.
scale or a little bit.
Yeah,
bigger?
it's
Okay.
the quarter scale in Mustafar.
Okay, they're like dueling on the platforms, right? Okay, cool.
Yep. So it's en route. I know it's not in the United States yet, so hopefully before Christmas.
Your holiday shipping, man, it's gonna be
Yeah.
interesting time.
I think it shipped like 2 weeks ago, so
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, I just while we're at it, let's talk about some bounty pickups. First of all, I am absolutely angry that I didn't get a chance to pick up the Darth Vader costume. Let me just share this real quick. So Jazzwares was selling this, beautiful.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of people posting getting that.
Yeah. The thing too is like, I was just debating if I should get it. Like my wife was like, "Do you really, really need it?" And
It's
I'm like,
awesome, but I just think you got to be tall to have it. It just didn't right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just I was thinking too. Is like, all right, if obviously it's one of our dreams to like, well, even for me, like when I was younger, I've always wanted to have like a Darth Vader like costume or suit, right? And like I was like, I didn't want to spend like $5,000 on like a 501st approved like Vader suit. And plus, like, how often am I gonna wear it, right? But this
Yeah.
for like $1,000, right? Which isn't too bad. But also for the Black Friday or even Cyber Monday, it was on sale for like I think 40% off.
Was it?
Well, at least Cyber Monday it was 40% off.
I remember
'cause-
seeing them for like 700, right, on Friday, I think.
Yeah, Black
700
Friday.
bucks, yeah.
Yeah, it was 700. It was 30% off plus free shipping, which is not bad. It comes in like a suitcase, which is pretty awesome.
Now, if I would have
has, like-
known that it was six or $700, I probably would have bought it and then put it in a mannequin.
Well, that's what I was planning to do,
Digging.
right? And the thing too is I was like, oh, 700, like I don't know if I should do it. I got to be responsible and things like that. So I was trying to be really, really responsible. But then Cyber Monday comes, right? And I remember I was still awake Sunday night when it turned into midnight, right? And I'm like, I saw it. It popped up on my feed. It said 40% off. I'm like, I gotta jump on this, but I gotta sleep first because I'm tired. Like it's midnight. I said I'll buy it first thing in the morning.
Damn, free shipping too.
Guess what happened? Oh, don't rub it in, Anthony.
I didn't even know it was on sale. I remember you talking about it a little while back, but
Yeah, I was talking to even Sean about it, and he was like, "Yeah, why don't you go pick it up?" But when I woke up in the morning and I went to the website, guess what?
Sold out.
Sold out. Son of
Yeah.
a gun. So I don't know if they're gonna have that sale again. I mean, that was a pretty awesome sale.
probably not.
Probably like they probably won't have the sale probably until next year again. like 30 to 40% off. That's a pretty significant amount. That's like $300-400
Yeah.
plus free shipping, like that.
Imagine it's a big package too, right? So
It's a pretty
good if you're
big
getting
package,
free
yeah.
shipping.
Yeah.
So
I saw Star Wars Theory got it. It looked like just a great big suitcase.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you were saying too is that like because I know Star Wars Theory is not like really really tall. Like I know he's
I think he's the
pretty
same height. Like, yeah, I think he's about the same height we are.
he's 5'10" or
Yeah, roughly.
Somewhere in
Yeah.
there.
yeah. It seemed like he's filling the suit like I feel like it's good
Sideways.
for like someone that's a little bit like not as muscular as he is.
Yeah,
so
he's pretty jacked.
he looked like he was struggling like to put
Yeah.
the suit on.
Yeah.
So yep, I ended up like not picking that up. So
Yeah,
that was
like-
pretty.
I think like I've seen some cosplay guys that
Mhm.
have done Vader,
Yeah.
and I always think they just look better when they're 6'3" at least.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know?
I mean, this is for my entertainment, like just to walk
Like,
around and
Yeah, I want to stand
I'm-
next to Vader, and I want to be like eye level with the
yeah.
control box. Like there was
Yeah.
one out at ICCC,
Mhm.
and I mean he was thick, like
Mhm.
he was perfect, like a perfect size.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be like a short Chewie. It just doesn't make sense.
It would look weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing too is that like I just yeah, like for me, like if I was gonna ever cosplay, like or put a costume and go to a con, like I would make sure like it's like as accurate as possible.
Mhm.
Right? Because like you get your it's one of those like you wear this thing and you go to the con thinking you're cool, and then like someone comes in with like the real deal and you're
Yeah.
like, ah shit, like oh well, okay. But yeah, I mean for me, like this was just something like again for
Just
my
for fun, yeah.
entertainment, just to kind of like
yeah.
wear it around the house or even put it on a mannequin. That's what
Yeah,
I was
if
like,
I would have
honestly-
got it, that would have been why I would have got it.
Yeah. And would have been cool to have like a sort of like a life-size Vader in your
Mhm.
living room or something.
For sure.
But yeah, and in
Yes.
terms of other stuff, I don't think I picked up anything else. I'm trying to think if I picked up any. I bought like some Star Wars socks from Stance. They were on sale for
Yeah.
30% off. Oh, Heroes and Villains had the sale, so I picked up some shirts. I wasn't really impressed with some of their shirts. I think I just bought some just because it was on sale.
Mhm.
I wasn't really too impressed with some of their designs. I don't know. I think they've been kind of like falling off on the design department with Star Wars. But what's that? I want to show you guys something that I was really like kind of impressed with. So Dark Sports or Dark, what's the name? Hold on, let me show you this. Let me share the screen with you. Yeah, Dark Sport, right? I think they got the license for Star Wars, right? So they have like these hoodies that they were selling. It's pretty expensive, but pretty cool though.
Is it like a 3-pack or this is just one?
I think it's like a 4-pack.
3 or 4-pack? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it looks cool.
They kind of look like something that would be in Hot Topic.
Yeah.
That's
what I said.
grungy, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of has that little like goth look to it.
Yeah. So, I mean, pretty cool, but I end up
A
like,
little pricey, right?
yeah, a little pricey. But
How much were they?
It was like 300, right? For the
Oh!
4.
Yeah, 300.
Yeah, that's
But
I think
crazy.
they're forcing you into buying the 4, so,
Yeah, the individual packs are sold out. But I mean, for me, if you guys were looking for some really, really cool shirts, I would definitely recommend like Rebel Scum Art and Apparel.
Mhm.
So they have some really cool shirts. I think Sean's got some.
Yeah, I
as
think he
well.
does. Oh, that's
Like,
a
this
pretty
is-
nice one. I like that.
Yeah. So you can use Sithcast. We have a code too. So if you want to save some money, use that and basically save some, oh, yeah, save some money on
Hey,
these
click on
shirts.
that
few cents or
Palpatine
something,
one.
right?
What's up?
Click on the Palpatine one. Next to the lightsaber one. Go up.
This
one.
one's cool. This one or this one?
No. It's above that one. Go up.
This one?
Yep.
Palpatine quotes T-shirt or the other one?
Yeah, that's pretty cool,
That's
right?
pretty sweet.
Yeah, that looks nice.
Yeah, like he has like really cool designs, so definitely recommend him if you guys are looking for some really cool shirts. So, but yeah, what else did I pick up? Really, nothing else. I'm trying to think. Did I pick up anything else? Oh, I don't think so. I've been really good. I was tempted to buy some like what's that called? Regal Robot magnets, but
Mhm.
you know,
I thought
just
about
don't
it too, but
You,
only so
yeah,
much fridge space, right? It's like maybe next time.
yeah. Like I'm like, one thing with Regal, right? Like for me, like I have already the Gamorrean Guard on pre-order. Like like I'm just trying to like save up for some of the other stuff because we
Yeah.
already got like a hint of what's coming, right?
Oh
The
yeah.
Space Slugs and all that.
What's coming?
Space Slug,
What is Space Log?
the Space Slug, the slug from
From Empire.
Empire
Yeah,
Strikes
an
Back. Oh, the thing
asteroid,
on-
yeah,
yeah,
the little,
okay, all right,
the little
all right,
puppet, yeah.
yeah. So
Well, how big is it going to be?
I think they're doing two. They're doing one that's like
Is it
a
life size?
smaller tabletop, and then the other one is going
Life
to be
well, yeah, well, it's
like
the
3
one-
miles long, right?
Yeah, it's 3 miles long. It's,
I know. I think it's going to be the same size as the puppet, though, the other version. So that one
Yeah.
will be the
Okay.
same size as the
Yeah.
film puppet.
So
Yeah, I like that one they had that was like a pencil holder thing. That thing was pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
their smaller one is going to be kind of like that. Like it'll have a little asteroid base and
hmm
little piece coming out.
yeah, I know Steven helped me out with trying to have like Tom try to like release it,
Expedite that one.
expedite that slug
I
because I
know.
definitely want it. So
That's cool. I think
Yeah,
they have like a puppet line going basically with the Rancor and Salacious and with the Wampa as well. So
yeah. By the way, that Wampa behind you looks amazing, dude.
did you get that one?
No,
no?
I
No.
was. Yeah, for me it's space as well, and plus there's so many companies putting out so many products right now.
For sure.
Like
It
you know,
doesn't look as big as I would have thought.
which is good though.
Tuscan, it's not very big, honestly. It's not that
Yeah.
big. The big one I have in the living room, that's the wall bus. That one's mounted.
Yeah, you
on the
got
brick right
you-
now.
Well, you got that one right.
I did, yeah.
How is that? Like, is that heavy?
It's not heavy. It's like have you held Chewy? Or have you seen Chewy in person?
Yeah, I've seen Chewie in person, but I don't.
Didn't pick him
Yeah.
up.
Yeah,
No,
it's not
this-
heavy.
It's not very heavy, so I'd say it's maybe a little bit heavier than Chewy just because of the size. But it was super easy to mount. Aside from the drilling a brick always sucks. But aside from that, like I actually I have like a little wooden mount with an extra hook. So it pretty much is just 2 screws that go in. Has a little hook that comes up, and you just hang it on there like a picture.
Yeah, I
So-
saw that picture. It looks really really amazing. I don't know if you have that picture on hand. Maybe we could share it and.
Yeah, I think I do.
Yeah, no, because I saw that picture that I think you posted on the Real Robot Facebook group, right?
It was there. It was on Hyperdrive. I can't remember.
Yeah, I saw
my-
that one and I'm like, damn. First I was like, who's because I only see like your room like display, right? Like all your stuff in your
Yeah.
room. I don't think I've ever seen, any of your like collectibles outside of that. But when I saw that, I was like, who's is that? Oh yeah, I got it. I
moved a
found
few
it. I
out
found
for
it. I
Christmas.
found it. I went to
Yeah,
Regal
you
Robots.
beat me to it, yeah. I
Here
think
we
they just
go.
posted one today, so
Look at that, dude. That's freaking that's what a great idea. Right?
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
it's pretty cool. It's one of those pieces too that I think it's tough to photograph. It definitely looks much better in person. But when I open up the box, I mean the box is taking up the whole freaking collection room, so I got it out right away.
Yeah.
And
And what is that to the
quite crazy.
left?
That's the Mythos,
yeah, the Mythos Palpatine.
Oh, okay, that's what I was thinking it was.
Yeah, it's got a little Christmas ornament in its hand. I was I just taped it there for
Well-
holidays.
let me ask you, what do you think of that Palpatine?
It's all right. I mean, it's I got a good deal on it, so I can't complain. But it's all right. I'm not a big like I guess quarter scale collector. I guess that's 1/5, isn't it? Something like that.
Yeah, 1/5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had it next to Mando for a while, and it looked kind of awkward just because it looked like he was scaled down a little bit.
yeah.
So I don't usually like putting them right next to each other with a bunch of different scales. But I mean, it's cool. I guess I'm sure they'll redo it with some like uplighting with the lava or something like that. Probably make it look better.
Yeah, I wonder if they're gonna revisit it, just because they revisited the Mythos Vader that Anthony has in his in the back.
In the back, I think they're gonna redo all of them. I'd be surprised if they didn't.
I hope not. I really
I think
feel
he's
like
right,
that's
though.
just laziness
Yeah.
on their part. I feel like why don't you just make a new Mythos Palpatine? Right? Why reuse the same design?
I kind of saw it coming when they did the Obi-Wan. I felt like, okay, this is interesting. They just redid Mythos in a different scale.
Yeah.
And then once
that
the Vader
one's a
came
little
out, you know,
Yeah.
then I was like, all right, I think this is just gonna be a recurring theme here.
Well, I like I said, like, you know, with the Mythos Obi-Wan, which I picked up, like, it was
The
cool
old
because it
one,
was
right?
different. Yeah, it's different.
Okay.
It looks different from the old one, right? But with
Yeah.
the Vader, it's obviously
This is the same thing.
the same thing, just scaled up and more money. It's $1,100 for a quarter scale, which is redunculous. So,
Did you get the Blitzway Anakin? Either of
oh
you?
yeah, absolutely. We're definitely gonna talk about that.
Which one? Which one did you get?
I got the Black Label version.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
You managed
I
to
had.
get it?
Yeah. Why are you interested in picking that up?
No.
Oh, okay. I was about to
Well,
say,
it looks cool, but no, I gotta stay in my
in your
my replica lane.
the yeah.
It's
Totally
hard though.
understand.
Some of these new statues coming out look really good.
Yeah, and that's why I completely, like, I know I was still kind of like holding on to, like, you know, like collecting Hot Toys. Like I would pick up like maybe like 1 or 2 pieces, if, you know, maybe, but right now I completely let go of that. Like I'm selling all my Hot Toys and moving on. Really, I just don't want to do anything with Hot Toys right now. Just because I mean, they look great. Don't get me wrong. For anybody that's still collecting Hot Toys, they look amazing, and I'm very happy for you. But I just can't keep up, man. I feel like every week they're releasing something new,
Another
or
one.
they're another one, or they improved that version of, I don't know, Captain America, or I don't know, Luke Skywalker, and then they keep doing it. And I feel it's the same model as like an iPhone. Every year there's a new iPhone, right? And it's a little bit of improvement, but it's a new one, right? So
I think it's part of the. I think they know with collectors too that it's funny. Like you order something and you're fine with it until they come out with a slightly improved version, and then that for whatever reason detracts from the one that you have, so they feel compelled to like, let me get the next one, right?
Well,
so,
again, just like
never
an
ending.
iPhone, or even some of the gaming consoles, or anything
Yep.
electronic now, I feel like that's how they get you, right? Like you said, like you get, like, for example, I know I picked up a long time ago, I picked up Mandalorian, the deluxe version, right? I'm like, cool, this is so awesome. It comes with so many accessories. And literally a month of me owning it, they just released a newer version, a chromed version. And you're like, oh, what do I do with this thing? Well, that depreciated the value significantly. So, but even then,
That's
like,
tough.
Hot Toys has gotten, like, they took a dip with their resale value. They're literally giving away free Hot Toys on Sideshow's website. Literally.
Oh, I think I saw that. If you spent $300,
oh,
you
like
got a free one.
actually free Hot Toys.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I
like,
thought you
not
meant
even
the
like a
hyperbolizing.
$180. not even like $180 like figure. Literally like a free $500 2-pack. Like, what? I've never seen anything like this in like my entire Hot Toys collecting career. I'm sure Anthony has never seen anything like this too.
No,
But
I saw that,
that's
and I think it was like you
concerning.
got a free one if you spent 300 or something like that.
Yeah, and then the thing
Yes.
too is like I didn't try it. I've seen a lot of collectors like it's like is it like if the figure is 300 and it's on sale for like 150 or 180, that's still I think still counts as 300. Because I've seen people like collectors like they're like
Like
were
it's going
just-
off MSRP, like whatever
Yeah.
it was before.
I think I'm not
that's
sure.
crazy.
I've seen a lot of posts like people
Dude,
were
that'd
just
have been dangerous back in the day when I was buying them all the time.
yeah, and it's cool too. Like, you know, that's good for all these collectors, these new collectors that are jumping in. Like, they're picking up these figures, but I feel like it's going to be like short term because obviously it's like a gateway drug, right? Once they start picking up these free figures and stuff like that, now they want more.
Yeah.
But like, it's not sustainable because I feel like, yeah, they'll buy a figure here and there, and then just they won't keep up with it. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Like, listen, if you guys are still collecting Hot Toys, great. I'm very happy for you. I think this is a great market right now for anyone that's getting into it. It's a great market right now if you're looking to complete your line or whatever the case is, or maybe you missed out on something. But in terms of sustainability for me, like, I don't think it's sustainable. Like, I can't buy a figure and like say like I get tired of it, which a lot of collectors get tired of their collection, right? It just happens, just second nature, right? It's just not second nature, human nature. Like, you think you like something, then you get it, then you don't like it. Then you try to sell it, but then when you sell it, you're lucky if someone actually buys it. Right?
Yeah.
Before it didn't have that problem. Now you're lucky if someone actually buys it.
Yeah, used
I
to be
had that,
before we always would say like at bare minimum you can sell it for what you paid for it.
Yeah.
Yes, bare minimum.
Not anymore.
No, not anymore. You're just going to be lucky if someone actually puts an interest in your figure,
Yeah.
because I don't think collectors are buying like you know, like used figures like they used to back in there. And if they do try to buy it, they're kind of like lowball you.
Mhm.
Like, they're like, oh, I want $100 for that. You're like,
Yeah,
okay.
I think in general right now, especially what happened last year too, towards the tail end of the year, it seems like everybody's flooding selling stuff and nobody wants to buy anything. So tail
Which
end of
is-
the year is always kind of tough to if you're
Yeah.
trying to get out of something, right?
Which is, you know, like for me, I always talk about the ecosystem, and I know some people make fun of me about this ecosystem that I talk about, but I think in general in the collecting world, right? Like, you have to have like a good like aftermarket, like, you know, I guess community, right? Where you could go and say, you know what, I don't like this figure, I'm gonna sell it. Maybe I'll lose like $40 or maybe just get my money back. But to really like, A, maybe not sell it, or B, like lose like, if the figure's like $250, you lose $150.
That's rough.
You get like $100. Like, what are you gonna do with that $100? Buy another figure that's $350? It just doesn't add up. It's not good. All right. And I know I'm probably gonna get a lot of flack for saying this, but I feel like it's kind of heading towards the Funko Pop direction, where it's, you know, they're flooding the market with all these like different variants and different like, or flooding the market with so many like figures, and then when you try to resell them, you'd be lucky if anyone buys your figures.
Yeah, I still got like probably 20 or 30 in the closet, and
Yeah.
I
I just went on a rant.
I actually don't like dealing with the people.
Mhm.
And I've been fortunate, and I've found a couple people that bought massive lots of them. And I was actually thinking I have some from The Mandalorian, and I was hoping that movie I might be able to just hold on to them and try to unload them when the movie come out.
Oh, when there's a little bit more interest, hopefully.
But the
Yeah.
thing too is that they'll release something newer.
Yeah, but
So
they're not going to release it till after the movie comes out, and then it won't be for a year before people ever get it. And when the movie comes out, they might be like, "Oh my God, I got to have
Like right now.
that right now."
Mhm.
And if you strike while they iron hot, maybe I can unload them and not lose my ass on them.
yeah. I think your best bet to right now is just if you're really looking into getting to Hot Toys collecting, I would definitely just suggest to buy these figures at like at the best deal possible, right?
Yeah.
Like if you could get like a free $500 figure, great, go for it, man. But if you're looking to kind of like continue collecting, I don't know, it's just hard. It's just hard, man. I see a lot. It's a shame too because I see a lot of collectors like just jumping out and getting out of the Hot Toys collecting market just because it's just too much, right? Average figure right now is like 330 plus. That's a lot of money
years
for one,
ago-
just for one figure,
It was right around the time I think the quarter scale
Mhm.
Hot Toys Vader came out, and I bought that. And Sean was like, "Oh, dude, you're done. You're not going to buy any more 6 scale." And I was like, "Nah. I mean, there's not a lot of options out there. I was like, if they ever came out with options,
Mhm.
if they ever started doing a lot of the Jedis, I would probably jump ship
Mhm.
and start buying the bigger stuff because I'm starting to run out of space."
Yeah.
And it's really hard. You like all of them. You might have one or two like, "Oh, I could sell this one," but like at the rate they were coming out, it really, like, what difference does it make if you get rid of one? Like, there's 4
Yeah.
more that are coming out in a month
Yeah.
that you got coming. And I mean, a lot of companies are starting to do stuff, and they're doing like, I like the quarter scale,
Mhm.
and the more that people are doing it, the more it makes it real easy not to buy the 1/6.
The Hot Toy.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, like I collected 1/6 because the realism or the likeness is always on point, right?
Yep.
But now you got like Blitzway, and I'm showing this for a reason. Is like you got something like Blitzway that look at this, like Obi-Wan.
Mhm.
This looks amazing. I didn't pre-order it, but now I am.
And another thing so like when they were 200
Mhm.
to 250 at the absolute most, that was a considerable difference from a $700 statue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now when we're 350 and a statue is 700, it's like,
creeping up.
well, 2 Hot Toys is one big statue.
Yeah.
I think for some people too, it's almost like it can get real cluttered if you have like a ton of very small things. If you had like 20 Hot Toys all together, versus just saying like, all right, I'm just gonna have 3 statues on the shelf and get something that I really like instead of just crowding with everything.
Yeah, because what I found myself doing is having, like, I had a shit ton of stormtroopers, clone troopers. What did I have? 2 different Vaders. I had the Empire.
Mhm.
I had the Bespin 2-pack Luke. I had Return of the Jedi Luke. I had multiple of different characters, like
Mhm.
3 different Leias, 3 different Rays. You start tripling up on these characters, and it starts taking up a ton of space.
Yeah.
Whereas if you can get like one awesome interpretation of a character, because they're not doing a whole bunch of like, other than like, let's just say like Vader, Maul, Boba Fett. That's really the things that they do a lot of.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, talking to a sideshow rep about it, well, I don't think he's a rep. He was actually in charge of, making, a lot of these projects. He was telling me, he's like, yeah, we'll make them. Like, we'll make the tertiary characters and stuff, but no one buys them.
Mm.
Right? Like I know, and here's the funny part is that like all these people, all these collectors always say, "Oh, make this, make that, make this, make that," you know. And I always heard it from like when I was still collecting Hot Toys, but then when they make it, no one's buying them.
I'm sure part of it
Yeah.
too is that maybe they just have to have a certain volume with their business model that they can't do these kind of niche products. They got to have these 800 edition size
Yeah.
plus pieces.
And the thing too is that like you have to think about the factory, right? Like if you
Yeah.
were to go to a factory and say, "Hey, just I only have like 300 pre-orders of this, I don't know, this figure," they're gonna look at you and say, "Well, we're gonna charge you a lot of money for this because we're only making 300."
Mhm.
So, yeah, and there's Matt.
What's
What's
up?
up?
Hey, how's it going?
Matt, thank you for hopping on, man.
Yeah, sorry I
Um,
couldn't be on right away.
No,
see you, buddy.
it's totally,
Yeah, good to see you
it's
guys.
totally fine. But
Well,
Matt,
I do-
I'm not sure if you met Anthony before. Anthony,
yeah,
Matt.
I think
I know
we're
Matt
on
met
What's up, Anthony?
Yeah, man.
Steven. Yeah,
Well,
it's just
Steven, yeah.
we're just talking about just like Hot Toys collecting.
Okay.
And how, I mean, we're talking about like Sideshow is literally giving away $500 Hot Toys figures, which is Matt, I've known you for quite some time now, and you and I kind of collected around the same time
Yeah.
in terms of Hot Toys. I've never seen anything like this, man.
Well, I was talking with Jason about this the other day.
Mhm.
I think we talked about it on our last show as well, but
Yeah.
just the idea that like, I mean, when I got out of Hot Toys, I got it at the perfect time when it actually was, you could resell stuff for like quite a bit more than what you bought it for. At
Yeah.
this point, it ain't that. Like that's not what's happening anymore. Like you've got to take a bath, on a lot of these things just because they just aren't worth it anymore, man. I mean, some of the special ones, like if you're gonna get rid of like let's say Tarkin or some
Yeah.
special Rogue One piece that someone might actually want, that's different. I think you can still get maybe K2SO, maybe you'll still get some decent money for that, but like
You'll maybe get your money back.
they're making a
Maybe.
lot more now. I mean, it's tough. I mean, people want Hot Toys to make Star Wars stuff, right? And to make a lot more stuff, but that also makes all of these Hot Toys less valuable, I think. Right?
Oh,
when
absolutely.
when they're just pumping out all this shit. And then it's just, it is what it is. Collecting is just right now it's kind of in the dumps in terms of like reselling. It's just you can't resell. You can almost not resell anything. It's even
Yeah.
even Regal Robot stuff's hard to resell at
For
this
sure.
point.
Yeah.
You know,
And the thing too is that like you just have to make sure that if you're gonna buy something, you're gonna keep it. Like
Yeah.
and that's the thing that like whenever
at least
I'm
for a while.
At least for a while, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's one thing too for me. Like whenever I buy something now, I'm like, do I really want this?
Right.
Because I know for a fact if I try to sell this in the future, I'm not getting my money back.
No.
Or
That's
even
like-
close to it.
PJ, that's like I've got a couple Mythos pieces that I would love to sell if I could, which is the Asajj and the newer the newer Maul. But I might as well just break them and throw them in the trash if I want to get rid of them because they're kind of worthless, right? Like I don't mind keeping them because I might as well keep them. Like it is
They're
what it is.
nice.
They're-
Yeah.
they're very nice. I don't mind it. I just know that I would get pennies for
It's
it.
not worth the
right?
trouble.
It's not worth the
Exactly.
trouble to
Yeah.
repack it.
And-
send
and,
it
you know,
out and-
And that's what I'm coming across to, Matt, with a lot of my Hot Toys figures that I still have. Like, why am I gonna sell like Jango Fett for $100? I might as well keep it.
Is
Yeah.
that what he's going for?
Yeah, most likely. I haven't tried.
Yeah,
but
he's
I'm
another one I got in the box.
I mean, it's like I think I've seen people try to sell for 200 and there was no bites. So
well, you know,
I'm
it's,
assuming,
again, if you just have to think about it differently. It's I've thought about, and I think you probably are in the same boat a little bit, PJ. Is if you've spent a lot of time with this stuff, then you've gotten your money's worth out of it. Like if you need to sell this thing on and you're gonna lose a little bit, lose some money, it's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, it's what sucks is losing money when you want to pay for something else. That's what
Well,
sucks. You're trying to get something else and you can't get that money for that.
well, the thing too is that, and that's kind of the way I and again, I'm just talking about my situation. I'm not, trying to say this as a general statement. For me, that's how I got away with buying all these things.
Sure.
Was I would not dip into like my funds, right? If I dipped into it, it'll be a little bit.
Sure.
And then like if my wife goes, another box, no, don't trust me. Like I sold some stuff and
Right.
I bought this, and it was a way of not getting in trouble
Of course.
with, you know.
Yeah, I had heard you say that before, Matt, and it is true if you think of it that aspect. Like, let's just say you had something, you had it for a year, you enjoyed the hell out of it, sat on your shelf. There is a value that you can put on that. Like, if you got to lose $100 on it, and you got to enjoy it, you got to say you had it, you got it off your bucket list or whatever the case may be. So, I mean, that is the way I kind of look at it, because I had about 90 Hot Toys, and I started selling off a bunch like a year and a half ago, and I've still got like 30 left. And I made like crazy deals for a couple people where they were like, I'll buy, like one guy bought like $3,000 worth from me, and I did like hella deals just because I was like, all right, it's clearing space out. But now it's at the point where I know I'm probably going to have to sell these at minimum 50% of what I paid for them.
Are you just, Anthony, are you just not collecting Hot Toys anymore? Is it?
Yeah. I just moved on, and I'm just collecting like quarter scale or stuff like that. And
no, that's great. And that's the tough part is it's tough when you're it's I think it's very different if you're getting out of the hobby altogether, because you can take a bath on some things, and it's for the most part it's probably okay. But if you're trying to like shift into something else and you need money to shift or to push into something, something like a quarter scale or whatever, it's tough, man. It's tough to take a hit on things because that money could go somewhere else, right? Not that it couldn't if you were getting out of it as well. You could use it for other things. I get it, but it is different when you're trying to push into a different part of collecting. It's a bummer.
And the thing too is like I always go back to that Netflix series on about like the Golden Touch or whatever, of collecting. I don't know, Ken Golden. But like when you see him visit all these different types of collectors, whether it be sports memorabilia, trading cards, and whatever the case is, it's like when they sell, they're using that to buy other things, right? And they're not taking a hit on it, like, or not a big of a hit. They're and that's usually the best ecosystem for collecting. Yeah. Right. But when you take away that resale value on these collectibles, it makes it hard to collect.
But PG, I do think everything has a bit of a like a bit of a a wave or a roller coaster. Everything goes in, it comes and goes, right? Like even baseball cards have taken a hit. From what I understand, I don't know that much about them, but
about 20 years ago, like baseball cards went in the dump.
Right, and so things come and go and come in. So it could be possible that Hot Toys, surges back up and like someone said, maybe Andor comes out and it makes Rogue One figures go back up, right? Like there's things that can affect that. And that's where you need to be smart about when to sell certain things. I think is the truth of the matter. But either way, I like Anthony, like we were talking about, if you can think of it differently and just say, man, I really got my money out of having this piece, and it's whatever I have, if I have to sell it and take a little bit off of it, that's not a huge problem.
Yeah.
Like, and it's, if it's going to live in a good home and someone's going to enjoy it, then good.
Yeah. Sean and I had this same conversation about a year ago, and he was talking about like, he was kind of running out of space. And I was like, man, there's got to be like 5 figures that are on like your bottom, It's kind of like when you're buying them, like, oh man, if I could just get these 3, then next thing you know, you get those 3, and then there's like 3 other ones that you want. And I was like, but he kind of had the same problem I was having, where it's like, I was like, man, listen, you want to get this other thing. Like it was when he wanted to get the Chewy bust. And I was like, listen, man, all you need to do, you got minimum, you can easily sell $5,000 worth of Hot Toys, and it was at a good time. And I was like, man, just get rid of them. You can't
Yeah.
put the Chewy bust in here if you've got this whole other two bestas of stuff here.
Sure.
You just can't put it, you know. And if you could sell all this, you already spent the money on it.
Mhm.
I was like, basically figured it out. He needed to average $300 a figure. That's what he needed to average. That's very feasible.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he had a lot of them that at that time were selling for $500. You know, and if you can kind of just like I had a hard time because I had a lot that were like, oh man, 6 months ago this was selling for, you know, $800, $900, and unfortunately when I went to start selling them, they just weren't going for that.
Yeah.
And it was like in my mind, I was like, man, that's worth this. That's worth this. And it's like, well, it ain't worth it because nobody's paying that right now.
It's true.
Yeah. I think probably the best way to kind of like fix the problem right now is like have it like HasLab, and even Regal Robot has like a small edition size and stuff where it makes it very, you know, pretty valuable. Like, yeah, just have like a pre-order window. Whoever pre-orders in that window is going to get it. If you miss out, tough luck. And then now for those people that pre-ordered it, now if they don't want to keep it, now they could sell it. You know, at least get your money back.
Yeah.
And,
I think PJ, the good thing about a down like, you know, market in terms of like reselling and stuff, I think the good thing about that is you really see, I think, in this hobby who is in it for reals and who kind of isn't. Like there's some people that, you know, that kind of got in it because they wanted to invest. They think it's a good investment or like, you know, whatever.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
And I think eventually you get to the point where, you know, something like this happens and it's like the people that actually care about collecting these things and actually are passionate about it, they're the ones that are going to be like, well, it is what it is. Like, I still love this stuff, right? I still want to buy this or that. So
yeah,
that's a, you know, that's a good thing.
yeah,
but
I
yeah,
totally,
getting out of things is right now.
I totally agree. And the thing too was, you know, what for me at least, it was easy to collect Hot Toys and statues and some other stuff.
Yeah, sure.
But now, like with the market and everything, like I just kind of have to sacrifice, and I completely just took Hot Toys out of the equation and I say, all right, well, whatever I was going to spend in that, now I could just focus on the other things that I love. So, I mean, I love Hot Toys. I think they do amazing work. And I just right now, for me at least, I can't keep up with like what they're, you know, what they're putting out. Plus,
it's like a fire hose.
It is a fire hose. Like I feel like every minute, like there's a new figure that's being released.
That's crazy.
Well, I do think if anybody has any Rogue One or anything from Mandalorian with Andor coming out, if you strike while the iron's hot, you could probably unload some of that stuff then. When the Mandalorian movie comes out, same thing, because if they're going to release the figures, it's going to be afterwards, and then it's going to be a year, 18 months before it ever comes into the hands. Dude, that's where I sold some stuff. Like people
I know, but the thing, they weren't really revisiting like 2.0s or reissues now. Now they're improving. Like I saw the Captain America one, the Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
that was like a reissue. I mean, granted, it is a definitely improved, like a huge improvement from the previous release. But you know, now like it's coming down to that where they're just reissuing these figures and with better head sculpts and stuff, you know.
Well, that's and the nice thing about like look at Steven, for example, right? Steve, you collect mainly Regal Robot stuff, and the nice thing about Regal Robot stuff is that they don't come out very often. Like, there's not a ton of shit unless you, I guess, if you collected both Star Wars and Indiana Jones like pretty hardcore, maybe you'd get more stuff. But that said, like, it's nice to be able to go to really like curate your collection and pick and choose things and be very selective. Like that's ultimately, I think that's where everyone should get to eventually.
Yeah.
You know, when you start out, you're kind of picking everything up, but eventually,
absolutely,
getting to the point where you're curating things, and you're being very selective and careful about it. But you know, that takes time, and it takes a lot of, you know, a little bit.
Also, the companies like to make money too. So if they can sell 200, 300, 400 of them, and why are they going to want to put a cap at 80, right?
Yeah. Well, and,
So
and Hot
it's kind
Toys,
of a balance.
Hot Toys is different, right? I mean, it's Hot Toys are a lot more expensive than, let's say, a figure that you're selling at Target or Walmart, obviously,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you're going to sell less of those
Less of
Hot
those.
Toys, but you're going to sell a lot less of Regal Robot products than you are of
For sure.
Hot Toys, because Hot Toys, it's a good price point to be at. Essentially, I mean, it's kind of gone up a little bit, but it's a great price point for the quality. I mean, Hot Toys quality is still ridiculous. It's still
Yeah.
really, really good, and they come out with stuff that even I get tempted by every now and then. That's fantastic. But again, like you said, they're coming out with so many of them now that it's just to keep up. I mean, it's impossible.
It's literally impossible. It
You got
takes
Sideshow
like this.
too.
What happened?
The Sideshow 1/6 is a thing too. Now,
Yeah.
So they got
Well,
more competition
Oh yeah, the
too,
Sideshow's
you know?
also putting
And
out some.
space is a whole nother problem, right? It's just
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
know.
you
I
run
don't
into
know.
one of two problems. You either run into the financial crisis or the space crisis.
sure.
Yeah.
And usually Space Crisis comes first because
Yeah.
I think that's the number one issue that a lot of collectors come across.
Right.
And we know, like with finance, I think we'll do whatever it takes, whether it be like being a backup to the backup dancer for a strip club.
Right.
Get some
You
nice
know-
underwear for a couple years.
Yeah, I mean, whatever feet picks, whatever you got to do, to buy that figure or statue you want. But yeah, it's just harder now. I hope everything, I hope like you said, there's dips, Matt. Hopefully there is at some point everything gets back to where it needs to be.
Right.
But it's gonna be hard because then you got Blitzway here.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this. I mean, this looks fucking amazing.
I
I know, Matt, you got the standard or the
no,
black label?
the black label. So
Oh, let's go.
Oh, sweet.
I know. So
Let's go.
it's funny, PJ. I was just like literally like an hour ago. I was talking with Jason about this because we put this up in our group as well, and CC did, and I was saying how good the regular version looks. Imagine how good the black label
Yeah.
version looks. I mean, it's got to be. I'm excited to see that because these look fantastic, but that black label version, I mean, it's another level, I think.
Yeah.
I can't help
Yeah,
but wish that they did Black Label for Obi-Wan as well, though. That's
Well, we
kind of the
talked-
only thing that kind
We
of...
Yeah.
talked about this, like getting
Yeah.
both. You got a black label and a regular Obi-Wan. It's going to be interesting to see if you can put those like kind of together and how that's going
Have
to
it
look.
look-
Yeah.
Those are different, man. They're not the same.
I mean, at that point, Anakin definitely has the high ground on that.
Oh, hugely, way up there.
Yeah. Which is kind of weird. I don't know why they didn't do a black label of Obi-Wan.
My-
Like,
The only thing I
my
can
was
They
think
the
is
just not
beard.
think of that?
maybe the beard
That's what I was
might have
thinking.
been the challenge.
It would have been
You know what-
more expensive.
You know what I think, PJ? I think is going on. I think Blitzways, their regular versions are going to be what they do moving forward for normal figures.
Oh,
But I think
that looks-
I think their black label version is going to change as it like every single one goes on. As in, like
Yeah.
if they make another Star Wars figure, I don't think they're going to make a black label version. I think they're going to make the regular Star Wars figure. The black label version maybe they'll make Indiana Jones next, or
Right.
maybe they'll
Yeah.
make.
Okay.
It'll be a different IP.
Yeah, that's what I think they're doing. Is they're going to make something different every time. I think. And then this is a look at what their actual black, like normal Star Wars,
Yeah.
like versions are going.
It seems like that's the case because they did the Michael Jackson,
right.
and then is there another Black Label one?
I think this is the second one.
Okay,
but
all
it
right.
just seems like to me like that's what it is. Is it's
I
gonna
think
be-
you're right.
But even still, like if they put this kind of stuff out moving forward with, imagine getting some of the original, characters like this.
Yeah.
The interesting thing I want to know is, do they have access to make the prequel versions like license wise?
hmm
Is that something that they're like does the license mean that you can make anything in Star Wars, or is there segmented things inside the license that
I
means you can
think-
only make?
I think they got the license for Star Wars, but it's only restricted to Japan. I think that's how they're getting away with it.
Do you think the action statue makes it different?
Probably not because it is still a quarter
Yeah.
scale, and I know Hot Toys owns the quarter scale like figure license too.
Yeah.
So I think the fact that it's only in Japan only
Yeah,
is
sure.
how they're getting away with the license. But it's a shame too because look how amazing these.
Oh, it's
these-
crazy.
I mean, Sideshow would never ever produce something like this in their lifetime.
They're getting better. Sideshow's getting a lot better. But yes,
They're
I think
getting.
I don't
they're
think
getting a
it's
lot
like this
better, but
quality,
I
this
mean,
detail.
this is just phenomenal. Like you said, the standard version looks amazing. I just can't imagine like how the Black Label is gonna look.
It's gonna be crazy.
Did you
I
get any
mean-
both, PJ, or you just got Anakin?
I just got Anakin, but I mean, looking at Obi-Wan,
I just got
look-
Anakin.
I think
Yeah,
if you
I mean,
get
the-
Black Label, you can only get
It'd be
one.
tough to not have both.
Yeah, it's tough not to have both, but
Jason
That's why
just got the normal versions. So he's got both the normal versions, which that's the crazy part is the pricing on these things. The normal
There was-
versions come out less than the Black Label version. If you get both,
yeah,
of them.
both of them.
It's great.
yeah, we both, yeah,
It's crazy.
that's why
You can get both of the regular for the price of the
Yeah,
I think it's
And
less than the price. It's nuts.
Yeah,
it's
it's like
shoot.
$600 or $700. And the thing too, that's what I was telling Sean. I was like, Sean, dude, you might as well get the Obi-Wan too.
I know, dude.
I mean, if you got the standard version of Anakin, dude, you might as well get. The
They'll match
Obi-Wan.
great. They'll match
They'll
perfectly.
match great.
yeah.
Like, that's
I told him I'd buy his high ground statue.
There you
dude.
go.
Then there you go. Tell him.
I've told him.
I know. But yeah, no, I think it's very exciting, especially now
good.
with statues going like this route, like with a realistic likeness of these characters. So I'm hoping that they keep doing it and we get like a Luke, a Leia, a
Mhm.
Han.
Yeah, right.
I mean, can you imagine? Like, wow. Like,
It would be great, dude. It would really would. I mean, it's really pushing the quality bar higher for even for companies like Sideshow and all that stuff. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
but
It ups the
Blitzway's
ante.
Blitzway's always been that way. I mean, look at they make stuff for Prime One
Mhm.
because Prime One goes to Blitzway because they know Blitzway can freaking knock it out of the park with their likeness. It's K.A. Kim, isn't it?
Yeah,
we did
I
it-
think K.A. Kim, and she's amazing. And she does like,
It's
I
crazy.
mean, I'll share some of the like I'll share some of the other stuff that they're coming out with. They have, let me just I mean, look at this Homelander.
Yeah,
Like, that's freaking amazing.
yeah, it looks good.
And then
I just think
I don't know who that person
full-scale,
is.
Black Label Chewy would be off the charts.
Oh, it'd be nuts.
Yeah, like this, freaking amazing too. Like
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah. so.
No, I mean, there's look I think Prime One's upping the bar, like raising the bar with some of the stuff that they're putting out, like some of their more like high quality, like the new Dune statue and some of these other
Oh,
ones that
yeah.
are coming out. They look incredible.
Did you
And
get the Dune statue for?
I had the original Dune statue from Prime One. It's great.
Mhm.
But
They're
yeah,
doing
I mean,
Neo?
this is ridiculous, dude. Like
Wow.
this is just
pretty cool.
crazy.
This is like probably the most realistic Keanu Reeves like
It's really
like-
good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah. So
Which one did they do from Dune? Did they do the?
They did a Paul
Timothy-
Atreides.
Okay. all
They
right.
did Paul Atreides, but they're doing a new Paul Atreides that looks
Uh-huh.
great, and they're doing Fade Rotha, which looks ridiculous.
Which one is
Like,
he?
He's the bald
Oh.
dude that fights him in the Dune 2.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
just-
yeah.
It just looks so good, and yeah, they just kill it. But this is great. I mean, I love that Blitzway is getting into this because finally we're getting some like hyper realistic Star Wars.
like Star Wars
Like,
statues.
and,
Yeah, like
you know,
because if you think about it, like majority of the characters are not like stormtroopers or whatever. Yeah, you get the Vaders and stuff, and like that's easy, right?
yeah. hmm
But like when you know, like the Anakins, the Han Solos, the Obi-Wans and stuff like that. I mean, with Sideshow, they're great at nailing the likeness for Yoda. Like Yoda is like their favorite character. They can
Yeah.
get the likeness spot on. But when it comes to Han Solo or even Luke
Yeah.
and Leia, did you see the last ones that they put out? I'm like, ooh.
Well, I'm interested to see the Sideshow Luke going up the ladder.
Oh yeah, they still
whatever
haven't
that-
announced that
The
yet.
Yeah.
X-Wing one.
Into the X-Wing.
Yeah, I'm really interested
Yeah.
to see how the likeness comes out on that, like what that looks like.
Yeah.
You know, I've not seen a better Luke statue than the XM Luke statue yet.
Yeah.
I think it's just incredible. But I'm hoping that one comes out really good. I think it would be amazing. It'd be amazing if Blitzway made
Mhm.
an actual Luke or a Leia or a Han or Han. The Bespin Han would be actually really smart of them to make first if they did that, because
Yeah.
no one has that essentially. I think that would be a smart way to go. It'd be interesting if they made. I mean, you're right. Making certain things like stormtroopers and Vader. I don't know if that's everyone can make that. Like kind of
Yeah, everyone can make that. It's easy.
Yeah.
Right?
There's a ton of them out there.
Making
Yeah.
a statue that's like an actual haired Chewie would be pretty fascinating. I mean, that would be crazy. I don't know how much. I don't know if that would be like.
Oh God, that thing would be expensive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'd think so. So
Yeah.
It'd be like 3 times the price.
yeah. So I mean, I don't know if that's possible. But and I don't know. Like you said, if they're gonna stay with likenesses, would you get a C-3PO? R2-D2. I don't know if you need that necessarily from them.
No.
So
No, their best avenue. Yeah. Queen Amidala.
oh, it'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be incredible.
Can you imagine?
Oh, you just pick whichever of the 20 different outfits she wore, and you just kill it.
Do one of those.
Yeah.
I think
By the
they
way,
do
shout
it.
out to CC on this one. I guess
PCS?
PCS is
that's cool.
what the. I just don't understand this though, Matt.
That's
I don't
Vader.
even-
I've already seen it.
Like, no, this is supposed to be Maul, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be their new mall.
Really?
Why?
Yeah.
But
Oh.
why? The other one didn't release yet.
I don't know unless they're trying to, maybe because they know that they've got a really good mall on their hands, as in like a mold or whatever they make it out of. I think the idea is they're making the mall with a silicone head, and it's actually like, but you're not putting hair into it, right? Like it's gonna look. I'm sure it's gonna look incredible. It's a 1/3 scale, so it's
And
not
who's
like you're-
making this?
PCS.
Oh,
They're already
okay.
making a
A
mall, a
1/3.
1/3 mall. That looks great.
Yeah, my
So-
reaction was that I mean, it almost looks like it just swapped the base. It looks cool, but I don't know why. These aren't even out yet, right?
I think they're trying to go for a more like museum quality mall is what they're going for. So a very like very simple base.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be like really hyper realistic, like really good, like incredible looking. I'm sure people will pick it up, but 1/3 is just it's.
Yeah, I get it, but why don't they do another character? Because I feel like this is just going to hurt their sales with their
In
The
my
other one.
other one. Because why? If this is going to be silicone, why would I want to pick it up if I hadn't pre-ordered the other one yet?
price,
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe the price is
I mean, it's just
different.
very confusing.
It is.
Well, I'm sure they know what they're doing. PCS is a great.
It is, but it's all okay. Maybe they do know what they're doing, but I would say we kind of know what we're doing. We've been doing. I think a lot of us have been collecting long enough that we kind of have an idea of like what companies probably should and shouldn't do it at this point, and this doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense. Like,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
PCS came to me and said, "Hey, do you think we should do another mall that's like really high quality?" I'd be like, "Why? Like
Yeah.
your other mall is really good. You haven't come out with it yet. Do something different. Like come out if you're gonna do the first thing of like a really hyper realistic 1/3 scale something. Do an Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Like do like old Obi-Wan or do like do freaking Han Solo,
Qui-Gon. Do freaking Qui-Gon.
Somebody,
Mace
yeah.
Windu,
So
like,
you could match it with the mall, whatever the
Yeah.
case is. It's
Something
just,
different.
I don't understand this because again,
do
you're
a
hurting
Jyn
the
Erso, go
sales.
crazy and do a Jyn Erso or do like a freaking do
Mm-hmm.
something different. Like it's really interesting. I don't really get it, but
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe
yeah, and then Far From Death Star says the only thing that's going to hurt them if this one looks really good, people will cancel the first one.
Yeah, but do
And
you
then-
think, though, that people might like the look of the first one because the first one looks a little more statue-ish. It's got
Yeah.
the base, it's got the
Yeah.
poses and stuff. This one might just be like a straight up like museum pose, like really hyper realistic quality, and that's it. So you don't get much else, right? More than that. Which some people really, kind of prefer that. I like that look. Like when I get that Blitzway Obi-Wan or Blitzway Anakin, I'm not going to put it in some crazy like pose.
No, I'm okay with museum poses.
I like museum pose.
I love museum poses because it's imagine you have like a display full of just like all these different characters in museum poses. It just looks
Yeah, it looks
really
really
nice.
Yeah.
You know what looks really good too? I just want to touch upon this real quick. is this.
Yeah, well, sure.
It's $12. Can't go wrong with it, man.
Yeah, you can go wrong with it.
It's
I mean, depending on where you take it, you could go wrong with it. Yeah, but yeah, it is cool.
PJ, you
Yeah.
better have it on for the next stream.
Damn.
Yeah, yeah.
It's been
I
a
will.
minute since I stepped foot in Hot Topic. I will be honest. That's
Oh yeah, I haven't
tough one.
stepped into Hot Topic since I was like 17. But I'm ordered online, and
yeah.
hopefully I get it soon.
Sorry. to
Other
hear
things
that.
I do want to talk about is the Gentle Giant. They're coming up with some really cool stuff. I know.
Mhm.
You know, sometimes with some of their
Surprising.
pieces it's a little, like some of them are hits,
I agree with
some of them are
Sean.
misses. But I think this one is pretty cool, right? They're kind of like touch upon the Ralph McQuarrie concept art.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I like it. I love that they're,
Do you know the
They're-
size of this?
it's probably going to be 1/6 if I had to guess.
1/6 or 1/7, something like that.
Yeah, that's their line with these, and they have the C-3PO already in the background, so they're gonna look great together, So
They did a great
Shoot.
job.
I think
Again,
they did.
it's so hit or miss with
Gentle
Gentle
Giant.
Giant. Oh my gosh, it's fascinating. I'm so always so fascinated about how how they can hit so well sometimes and just miss so poorly. So like
I knew,
it's incredible.
yeah, I
the
knew
swings.
Matt would. Also, just do want to mention tomorrow. This is what I've been kind of saving my money on, is the release of the Columbia
Oh yeah, that's cool.
collection, the Star Wars collection. So
That's cool.
definitely, if you guys,
They've already shown it, right? They've shown the stuff.
yeah, they've shown it.
This is it,
So
yeah.
9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time or 12 p.m. But if you
What are you gonna
are,
get, PJ?
oh my God, what am I
He's
gonna
getting
get?
that Hayden
Pretty much
Christensen
everything.
signed.
No, no,
Yeah, what are you picking up?
so
By the
if
way,
that-
did you see our show, Pete? Did you watch our show? Like we talked about. I think we talked about this. Did you see the fat guy in the jacket? It's ridiculous. It's a really bad decision.
He's back on it again.
This one right here.
Yeah,
you
I
go.
mean, come on, dude. He looks like he's in a trash bag. It's crazy.
Yeah,
That's like that guy can look fine in a lot of things. Don't put that on him. Like that's not his fault.
He doesn't look as big in the red shirt.
No, he
he's
looks
not-
fine in the
thing
red
is-
shirt. That's totally fine. But that jacket makes him
think-
look like an idiot.
He looks a little pregnant.
It's bad, man. It's really bad. But what are you gonna get, PJ? What are you picking up?
So
I kind of want
definitely
that
gonna pick-
jacket now.
Yeah, right.
Which one? This one? The one we're talking?
That one.
The top
I
one,
need to gain some weight though to really.
The
That
top-
photo
yeah,
really
right?
sold me on
to
it.
fill it out.
Yeah.
The top one looks cool. What's the top jacket? That top.
This
that
one?
one's pretty cool. No, the top,
Yeah.
top.
This
the
one,
top.
yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
All right, so so by the way, definitely recommend you signing up for the member thing before, so you can do the early access.
Mhm.
So this one, it's like this like hooded
Interesting.
like trench coat jacket, right? I don't know if I can zoom. So
They have a shorter version of this one though, don't they? as well?
yeah, and it comes with this like inner lining, I guess, jacket you could say. That
Oh
I like
my
the
God.
inner lining on the other one.
That's cool.
just-
Yeah,
The insides of these things are really cool.
yeah, I like that inner lining better.
That's so
yeah.
It
So
kind of has that Russian look.
yeah. I like this one. I'm definitely gonna get it just because I've the past like 3-4 years I've been picking up a lot of these Columbia jackets
Yeah.
because obviously it's so hard to get, number one,
Yeah, it is.
and once they sell out, they sell out. Like
Right.
that's you're never gonna get it, right?
Sure. 600
and plus-
bucks though, bro. Oh my God.
It's I know.
Yeah.
Holy
That's
shit.
that's why I
Be,
didn't
be
buy
hard
a
to
lot.
justify that jacket where I live. I'm sure it's the same for you, Matt.
Jeez, that is
Well,
crazy.
I could justify because it's freaking freezing
totally.
out
Yeah.
here. I know Steven's like, nah, I don't need that
Nah,
jacket.
I'll have it for 3 days out of the year.
yeah. I
Yeah,
know.
if maybe 3 days,
Maybe when I
right?
travel.
But see,
Is
I
That
don't
one
get
that one's smaller, right? That one's less
this one.
no, the one on the left here.
No, this is the same one. It's
Oh,
just
is
it's
it?
signed by Hayden Christensen,
Oh, okay.
and this
Yeah.
is I think this is like
It's like
$3,000 or
Oh, it
something.
looks smaller. Okay. Looks smaller.
I mean, I guess it's good because it's you know, like there a lot of it's going to the Make-A-Wish
Charity.
Foundation. But I'm like,
I think we
for
talked
me
about
at
it too.
least, like I don't want to shell out that kind of money because I, you know, like my wife would kill me.
Oh yeah.
I would just go to Hayden and have him sign my jacket.
Sign
Like,
it.
hey, can you sign this?
Matt,
but
I think we talked about it too, right? You can't even wash a jacket. You buy a $2,000 jacket, you can never.
It better be signed with something that you could wash it with. I mean, that'd be crazy.
You would think.
Jeez, that'd be nuts. You gonna get these shoes, PJ?
I don't know, man. I don't know. They look kind of
pretty cool.
Cool, you think?
They
Really?
don't look good on her. They don't look good on her. But
Yeah. I mean, what do you think? Like, I feel like it looks cool here, but then I put it on and I look like a doofus.
look,
you know?
look, these would be great. These would be fantastic. Like all of these clothes would actually be fantastic for them to actually have a character in Star Wars wear. Because I think it would actually
that's
work.
a great idea. Like
I think
someone in the background.
Yeah,
or
I think it
something.
would actually work because it fits that look, and that's actually kind of cool that they're doing that, right? I think it is kind of cool. But yeah, if you're wearing a lot of this stuff in a normal life situation, it is some of it is kind of weird. But
How about this Vader parka?
um,
I don't know. I don't like the little like.
no, yeah.
If it
Garbage
didn't
in
have
the
that
back.
part, it would like even
Yeah,
the
if
stuff
they
on
didn't
the
have
sleeves-
this, I think I would be sold on it.
Stuff
but-
on
Yeah.
the sleeves looks cool, but that stuff on the back. not
What's
so
the
much.
Yeah.
what's the one that's a little smaller, PJ? If you go back,
Yeah, I think there's one that's kind
below
of like
that. Like that.
this one.
Yeah.
This one's like, yeah, I think this one
kinda
is like
cool.
a tech jacket.
Sure,
I think you could rock this too, guys. Like, you know, Matt, you know,
it's kind of cool.
Steven and Anthony, right? Because it's like a thinner jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
so
cool.
if it gets like in the 60s or 70s, like you can still rock this, which is pretty
it's
cool. The hat though, I definitely need the hat.
Yeah,
The
that's
hat
cool.
That's a cool hat.
like that.
Hey Matt, have you owned any of the Columbia hats?
No, you know what? Actually,
It's really good quality. Like
I
I'm gonna
think
tell
I
you.
might have. I can't remember if I got the Boba Fett one.
Yeah, they're
remember.
great. The hoodie looks cool, but I don't know if I would get the other. Let me see if I could pick the black one. The black one looks cooler, right?
It's a little more
It's a
subtle.
little bit more subtle.
That's cool.
Like the red one, just like I know it's the hallway scene, I think,
Yeah.
or just a silhouette, but it's kind of like
I'm not
shouting,
enough of
like-
I'm just not enough of a Vader fan to have him plastered all over my body.
Yeah, well, I'm a Vader fan. Like I wouldn't want. It's just too out there. Like I
Yeah.
think the black is just kind of is very
A little more
subtle.
subtle. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna get the black one. This one I definitely gonna.
It
Pick
doesn't
up.
like glow in the dark or some shit, right? Like, it's not like it's not like
No, it's
PJ,
not
'cause
that cool.
That would suck if you were like wearing this thinking, oh, this is awesome, and then you walk into a freaking store and all of a sudden you're glowing all over the place. Like then that's embarrassing. Like you don't want to. You got to make sure
Or amazing. Just depends.
it's
Well-
it depends on what store you walk into.
I know you guys want this.
Yeah.
Gosh,
I'm gonna have to eat a lot to
it's so bad.
wear that.
Well, they have a big version.
They definitely
Yeah, yeah.
you go.
There you go.
have a bigger version.
Oh,
They have a
man.
5X, dude. The vest looks way worse, bro. Like even when he takes the arms off, oh, it's so
Yeah.
bad, dude. Oh my gosh, bro, that's just
It's.
Shame on him.
Amazing.
shame.
I
on
think
him.
this is gonna sit for a while. On their
Well,
site.
with him as the picture, it is. I'm sorry.
Well,
It's-
even this
it looks
too. Like
horrible.
I wouldn't want to pick this up. It just doesn't look right.
I just
Like
it's-
you know, like I
it's-
get it. It's very Star Wars themed, but like I wouldn't want to. I
I
don't
like
know.
the
I
Rocky
wouldn't want to
Balboa
rock.
hat.
Yeah, this one's pretty cool. I think I like the black regular. This one, the more subtle one,
Mhm.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you though. So I'm wearing a Columbia shirt right now. So this one.
yeah. It's very subtle, right? Like it's cool.
Yeah. So this is the Ralph McQuarrie,
Yeah, that's cool.
and the quality is really really nice.
Yeah, Columbia's
Really
nice.
nice.
Columbia
Hold
makes
on, let
good
me see if I
stuff.
can- So the quality, yeah, they're a little expensive, but I'm telling you, the quality is there. I've owned this for like, I've owned this for like 2-3 years now, and the quality is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we looked at this one, right? Yeah, we looked
Yeah, we
at
did.
this already. So what else?
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, the Rocky Balboa hat. I don't know if I'm gonna rock it. Anthony, you would pick this up?
No.
Dude, I think most people look like dumbasses in a freaking bucket hat. It's hard to pull off a bucket hat, in any circumstance.
Yeah. The long sleeve shirt is nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's the Vader scene, but I think, like I said, this one looks nicer. I think this one is definitely a hit for me.
Sean said, "Is this the Jabba collection?"
Yeah. Yeah, they got the Gamorrean guard as a model.
It's tough.
The Rancor train.
How about this? A crossbody. I'm not a crossbody guy.
Cool though.
Yeah.
Would you
cool.
you guys rock this?
Is that a man purse?
Kind of, yeah. I mean,
little
there's people that it's kind of like a fanny pack, but a little different. I mean, it's cool if that's what you use. Like that's cool, man. It looks awesome. I wouldn't.
Like,
use it.
I guess it makes sense that it's a chest box too. It's like almost sitting that area.
Yeah,
I
that's
just,
cool.
I just don't wear them.
Yeah. I don't wear them, and I don't know.
It makes me wish that I did though, because it is cool. But I don't. No.
It's never too late to start, Matt.
Yeah, it is. At this point.
I know Sean said he was definitely going to get the belt. I mean, the belt is subtle enough that it's
Now the belt.
The belt's cool.
How much is the belt?
50 bucks.
$50. That's not
Yeah.
Anthony.
I think I might be getting the belt then.
Get the belt.
That comes
the
out
belt.
tomorrow?
Yep.
Tomorrow morning. Yeah. Is it?
I'll message you.
Is
Sean,
it
Anthony.
Pacific? It's Pacific time.
9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Yeah.
Okay.
But again, if
you're-
you sign, if you're a member, it's free. It's free to become a member. So do it now.
The belt's free if you're a member?
No.
Oh.
Maybe not.
If you're a member,
get
you
two
get
belts.
access to it earlier. You get like 30. You get to go in 30 minutes ahead.
Do they sell out like instantly or something?
Oh yeah.
Dude, one
shit.
size fits all. I would have to probably cut like 3/4 of that thing down.
I'm telling you, there ain't no way that belt is going to fit me and the Gamorrean guard.
It's
There
no
ain't
way, dude. They're making it for all these collectors that are
Yeah, that belt's probably 6
sizable.
feet long.
Yeah.
Does
I
it
don't
say
know.
that?
I'd have
I
to
don't.
cut
I
that
don't.
thing
I don't
down in
believe
half
this
at
is.
least.
I don't think this is one size
Dude.
fits. Come on.
Yeah,
does
if
it,
it's
does
one
it,
to-
does it say?
You can get
Didn't it
two
say-
belts out of one.
One size? It says one size right there, doesn't it?
Yeah, one size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's effed up, dude.
Yeah. I don't believe it.
I might have to pass then.
That
Wait,
sucks.
I'm
Uh,
gonna have like
yeah.
a long tail hanging off the side.
Well,
or
I'm going to
something.
probably have to cut
Problem.
half of it off. So if you want the other half,
exactly.
and then
There
you
we
can
go.
just like put another belt buckle on it or something.
Two belts.
Wait. Well, I'm a
Socks are
socks
cool.
guy. The
I like
socks are
socks.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. $40 for both of them, which is not too bad.
Not
It's
too
not
bad.
great, but it's not horrible.
I like that. What is
Could be
that?
worse.
Yeah, what is that?
It's a quilted blanket.
How big is that blanket? Is that like something you can throw out like for a picnic?
Shit, that
type
looked
of
like a
thing?
placemat.
I thought
Yeah.
it was like a keyboard mat or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the dimensions of
70
it?
inches by 50. That's pretty big.
That's pretty big. It's decent.
I guess for camping.
Yeah, that's probably what it's for.
Yeah. Pretty cool. I mean, all right, Matt, what are you picking up?
0.
Get out of here.
Probably-
Not even a hat. Come
probably
on,
0.
you're
No, I
a
don't-
hat dude.
Yeah, but
You're
I
a
don't
hat
wear.
guy.
I don't. I wear flat hats, so
okay.
that's not my style.
Matt,
I
let's
wouldn't-
split the belt.
The belt is interesting. I
We can
definitely.
split it.
I don't think I would wear the belt, to be honest. I like have one belt that I wear, and that's it. I just don't. I
Yeah.
don't really care about belts that much. But everything else is just, dude. I would look like a child in most of this stuff because of how big it is. I would just look so stupid.
Just be swimming in the jackets.
Yeah, and it's all
Yeah.
super puffy, and I would look like a little
Well,
child.
yeah. Well, in where you live, it doesn't make any sense.
No,
right?
no, yeah. I love winter stuff, but yeah, it's not. It's,
Yeah, I would say if anything, the socks look cool, right?
I like socks. Yeah.
I don't know about another. I mean, there's so many freaking water bottle companies making Star Wars stuff. Like, I wouldn't pick this up, but
Socks
Uh,
are something where it doesn't matter how crazy the socks are. I can
Mhm.
I can rock whatever. Like 'cause
Yeah.
they're covered up all the time anyway. Who cares? Who
Yeah.
gives a shit?
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, I can do any kind of sock, but
So belt and socks for
maybe the socks. I mean, I've never had a pair of Columbia socks, so I don't know what.
I don't know either. I'm sure it's gonna be quality because they make like a lot of like wintry
Yeah.
clothing, so I'm sure it's gonna be nice and warm.
hmm
But yeah. How about you, Anthony? I know you're definitely getting the
I'll
belt.
I'll get the belt.
Okay. Anything else like the hat? I know you're a hat guy.
I don't know. Like,
No.
no, I mean it looks pretty cool.
It's
I do
pretty
like
cool.
that, but how much is that? $50?
40. 40.
bucks?
Yeah.
Yeah, I might get a hat maybe.
It's a good quality hat.
Yeah.
I have two of them. I have the Boba Fett, the Rebels one, the white one,
Yeah.
and I think that's it. Yeah, they're good quality hats. Definitely recommend. All right, how about you, Steven?
I'm thinking about the belt, but I don't know, man. I'm a little concerned with how big it's gonna be. I don't know if it'll look good once you cut it. So
Yeah, I don't know
does
either.
it say the length underneath? the
Yeah,
specs or
it's
something?
fits up to 44-inch men's pants size. Total length 53 inches without buckle 50. That's pretty fucking long.
Dude, I'm gonna have to cut that thing almost in half.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
cut like 20 something inches off of that thing.
That's
Yeah.
4 feet 2 inches.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
that's-
know,
that's-
just eat more. I know.
Big waist.
I'm out
Yeah.
of Thanksgiving leftovers already, so
Yeah.
they'll look there. The
Yeah, that
socks are
shit's
cool.
gonna go all the way back around to the middle of my back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's wild.
That's kind of wild. Yeah, for me, I definitely gonna get the jacket because I love the jackets. It's cold. I don't know about the boots. Maybe. This parka, no. That
You probably
jacket,
wear the
definitely
boot
not.
with that Jar Jar
No.
hoodie thing or whatever.
Yeah.
They'll all fit
Um,
in.
This hoodie, yeah. The hat, yeah. Sure, t-shirt, maybe the long sleeve and the belt, and that's it.
If I wore those man purse things, that would be pretty cool because it sits on your chest.
Yeah, I
That's what I was
like yeah. If I
My-
wore these,
It's really
I
cool.
definitely
My girlfriend's got something similar to that,
Mhm.
and it's like clear, like for going to the sporting events.
yeah.
Um,
No, it's pretty cool. But yeah, that's it. Tomorrow, don't forget
Yeah.
everyone. Set
I
your-
think someone like
Mhm.
like Cece would rock something like that easily. Like that.
the purse.
Yeah,
the man.
like that's something you could easily take especially if you're. I mean, guys can wear those easily to something like a con,
yeah,
like a convention or
Yeah.
something. But I know chicks wear that stuff too when they go to conventions because they don't want to take a purse with them,
Mhm.
and like that would be freaking perfect.
yeah,
For like Comic Con or something like that would be awesome.
yeah. I mean, that'd be like, yeah. Actually, that is, that's what I would rock it for.
It's perfect.
Comic-Con.
It's perfect for a
Yeah.
Comic Con.
Yeah, but again, if with Columbia stuff, like it's one of those things. Like if you got to make a decision before it gets released because
yeah,
it
for sure.
goes pretty quickly. At the same time too, like once they sell out, that's it. They don't
Get them
they
on
don't-
eBay for 3 times.
Yeah,
tomorrow
3
evening.
times. Yeah, so yeah, don't sleep on it if you are looking to buy one. God, what?
Oh, for wearing the man purse.
Yeah.
Too much.
Yeah, it's about confidence, Sean. You walk in and you freaking own that shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
Don't
That's
even
it.
acknowledge it.
No,
Just-
that's it.
yeah. Dude, you
Yeah.
could totally wear that man purse like with a thong. Like nobody
Dude,
would
you
bat
walk
an eye.
into a Comic Con, you unzip that thing and you buy
Yeah.
shit, and it's
Yeah.
it's
You just
everyone's
walk
like-
around with your chest like
everyone's
this,
like, oh, that's cool.
just
Go
know,
on.
just George Jefferson strutting through the place.
Yeah.
Oh my
Very
goodness.
confident.
I can't. Yeah, I could only imagine Sean rocking that, and
PJ,
me
you don't
then
have
me
to-
next to him with the Jar Jar Binks.
I was gonna
Better
say
get
you don't have
punched
to
in
worry
the face
about
than
the.
punched in the ass.
All right, so I think that's about it in terms of stuff coming out. But let's talk about Skeleton Crew. So I know leading up to it, there wasn't really much talk about the Skeleton Crew. Probably like a week before it got released, then you saw like all these like commercials and things like that. We really didn't know what was like what it was all about. We just know there was kids in it, and that's it, right?
Yep.
I
Too
like
long.
that. I like that when trailers or just not only with Star Wars but with all the IPs where they don't give you too much, right? I mean, you watch a Fast and the Furious trailer, you already know what the
It's
hell
about
the
family.
movie's. It's about family
Yeah. And
and
cars.
going to space and racing.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, we'll start with Steven, man. Like, what were your thoughts before, jumping into watching this show?
Like initial trailer reaction.
Yeah.
Like prior to watching the show. They were kind of mixed. I mean, part of me was glad to see something that was a little bit, I guess, different from the main storyline. I thought maybe it'd be an opportunity for them to not be so bogged down with what has been.
Yeah.
With the last couple shows coming out. So I thought, maybe being removed from the whole Skywalker saga would help it out a little bit.
Yeah.
And then there was some CG that did look a little funny. Some of that wasn't the best. Some questionable set design, I think. But I mean, overall, I didn't really have much of an opinion going into it. I just kind of went in blind.
Okay. How about you, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty open-minded with a lot of the Star Wars stuff. I think it being a different type of show is helpful. I think it allows for you to kind of put aside your concerns a little bit and say, yeah, it's probably going to be more of a show, a little bit more geared towards kids. And that's great. I think that's totally fine. I definitely before I got the Goonies in Star Wars vibe, which I honestly think it feels that way when I watched it. Like I think they did a pretty damn good job at that. And I think they're trying to go for that like ET-ish, Goonies-ish type of like vibe, especially with the bikes and all this other stuff. Right. So, and it's cool that everybody, I mean, I would say most people like that shit. Like it's a kind of a home run type of feeling.
Nostalgia.
So, yeah. Nostalgia. And so I think they're going for some of that. I think not include, like we're not seeing anybody that we really know in this, I think, which is probably good. That's probably a good thing. Jude Law is amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
I love Jude Law as an actor. So I think having him to kind of anchor it, to kind of be like the main, like really good actor in this, again, it was all about, it feels good. The question is, what are the kids going to be like? Because kid actors can absolutely tank things for me. Some people don't mind kid actors not being that great. I think it really hurts things. Like episode 1 for me is I have to speed through parts of it because it's so bad, because I think he acted so poorly. And
the main kid?
The kid. I think it was just a horrible choice to put him in it. Even though I think you have to put a kid in it, he was a bad choice. And so it hurts my viewing of that movie. And I can't get away from it. It's just nothing I can do to like really like watch him. It's just so bad. And so I was worried about that for this show because there's a lot of kids, and we'll see. I think as far as like as far as I can tell, they're pretty good. I don't know if as it continues, if it'll get worse or better. I hope it's great though. It feels good so far. So
okay. How about you, Anthony?
All right, I've got some good and I've got some really bad.
Okay, well,
cool.
Let's talk. Well, just talk about your initial thoughts before watching the.
Oh, before I watched it. I thought, like Matt said, I think this is going to be a little bit of their version of like capturing that Stranger Things, Goonies, E.T., where you got the little kids and they're on an adventure. And I thought, like, I've got no problem with that. I love all those.
Yeah.
I could watch them a million times. You're right. Sometimes some kid actors can just be so damn annoying that it just is intolerable to watch.
Yeah.
So
and by the way, just real quick, everybody has a different idea of what is a problem for them, right? Like something that bothers you is not going to bother me, is not going to bother PJ or Steven. So yeah, just.
But I would say I am 100% with you on that.
Yeah.
Going into it after I saw the trailer, I saw this Subdivision.
Yeah.
In the back of my mind, I thought the only way
What the hell?
Oh, there's a new PJ guest on.
I thought that there was a possibility that
Which one?
kids might be in the future on Earth, and that this might be somehow or another they get into another galaxy or something like that. But after watching it, I don't think that's going to be the case. But yeah, I mean, I think for the most part, the premise of the show is about what I kind of had anticipated.
Yeah.
I thought the droid was pretty damn cool.
Freaking awesome.
He seemed
I mean,
droid-like. That was, I guess, that's what I liked. Kind of the movements and everything. He seemed a lot more robotic.
well,
Yeah.
the way they filmed him and did like someone actually is running him behind it. It's
Oh, okay.
honestly, they did a really. I feel like they did a really good job at keeping to the what Star Wars is in terms of like how they made some of the characters like more real, like in real life. You know what I mean? Like they made them look really cool and interesting, and the aliens look good. I thought the robot looked really cool.
Yeah.
And again, it's just it really is going to come down for me to obviously story, but like the kid actors and how they feel throughout the series. That's that's a big
Yeah,
part.
right now I'd say the kids are not worst case scenario,
Yeah.
like you know,
Correct.
being like
Agreed.
Like
intolerant.
the young Leia in Obi-Wan.
Yeah, she was.
Well, you know what though?
she's all right.
I thought she was fantastic, but some of the scenes that they put her in, I thought were just cringe as hell.
Yeah.
I think maybe it was more for me on that front was maybe the wood scenes, like the
Yeah,
blocking
that's what I'm
was
talking
super
about.
weird. I don't know why it stuck out to me after that. I was having trouble
It was jarring.
getting back.
Yeah. I agree. I
PJ,
thought-
what are you doing?
I don't know what the hell's going on. Because I
Always two there are.
I thought that young girl was fantastic, except for like that scene
The action
and
scenes,
then
yeah.
hiding her underneath the jacket. Some of
Yeah.
the choices they put her in, I thought were very bad.
So
But
so Anthony, real quick, what was the really bad for you?
the cul-de-sac,
Okay,
the-
so some of the
subdivision.
scenery.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay.
Stuff
That was
like
that was
that.
my problem with it
Yeah,
as well.
and then
That's not a horrible, like that's not the worst case scenario for me though. In terms of like if someone said I didn't like that part about it, that's at least that's not where it's set. That's not where the main part of this is going to be set in. So that's
that's
good.
fair. Yeah,
That's good.
But
But I
it
hear
ju-
what you're saying.
it's and granted, once we watch all the episodes, there could be it seems like this planet has something about it. So possibly,
Something that's different.
Yeah, possibly like this planet
Okay, much better.
isn't in the galaxy of which Star Wars is, but it's very jarring when you're, they say stuff like these are galactic credits, but then like here's your lunch money, and then you have like
Sure.
a cul-de-sac, you have neighborhoods that look like houses, close the garage,
Mhm.
like all of those things start taking you out of the universe that you're supposed to be in.
You know what's interesting? If what this felt like to me is a mixture of Star Wars and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes,
Because
or Star Trek
bit.
in the future.
sure, and I actually really like Guardians of the Galaxy. Some people
Mhm.
don't, but I really like it, and so like it was okay for me. Some of that stuff was okay for me, but I get that that's not something we've seen before in Star Wars.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can understand how that might be a little bit jarring.
See,
for
I
some
like
people.
Guardians of the Galaxy,
Yeah.
and I can watch Star Trek and I love it. But
Right.
like, it's one of them things that's really bothered me with some of these series is it's like they don't understand like the language, they don't understand like the world that they're in, making it look a certain way.
Sure.
I think, like, if you go back and you look at the Han Solo movie, like I can't remember what the creature that Han was trying to get away with that was like the gangster on that Lady Proxima.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like her voice was extremely like jarring.
She didn't need to speak English.
Exactly. That's
She
my
didn't need
point.
to speak English.
She
yeah.
should have spoke another
Clicks
alien
and
language.
clicks and yeah. Stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think it would not have been a bad thing.
Right.
Same thing with like they seem to always make the aliens speak basic, and I think they ought to speak some other clickety clack language, put some subtitles down there, and leave it at that. I think those are things that would correct some of the jarring aspects.
Well, and what I love when movies do this, what I love movies do when they actually have people talking.
Yep.
And the aliens are talking some weird ass language. The people understand them. You don't get the subtitles, but you get the context of what they're talking about because
it's the Chewie Han.
Yeah.
That's the way they do it.
It's Chewie Han. It's the they do that in,
R2
they do in
also.
Guardians of the Galaxy with Groot, right?
Yep.
With Groot.
Yep.
So I like it when they do that. I agree. I think they should do more of that. I think that would be cool. I think there's some there has to be, in my opinion, a little bit of grace given, a little bit of like open-handedness with this, especially with this show, because I do think it's very much geared towards it's very much geared towards watching with your family more than Andor is, because I think Andor is very, very
serious.
It's us. It's like pointed at us, right? Versus, I think this is more like something I could say, hey, daughter, watch this because I think you'll like this, and she could watch it by herself and be totally fine. Versus me having to explain something, you know.
Well, for me, and by the way, sorry guys, I don't know what the hell was going on. I was like cloning myself. I felt like I was a gremlin. You poured water over me, and I just kept them multiplying, which is a scary thing. I like that they I know what Anthony's saying, and I see where he's coming from.
I totally get it. Yeah,
I totally get it. I absolutely 100% get it. But I think I mentioned like in a couple of streams before about the different types of generations, right? Because I learned that at work, we were sent for this conference or thing to learn about the different types of generations and how to manage them. Going from the original trilogy all the way to now, there's like a 40-year gap, right? If you think about it, like from when we watched it as kids and then now these newer kids are watching it. It's a huge, huge gap, right? And the thing too is that how do you bridge that gap where you have both audience be able to be engaged? I'm talking about not just like the 13-year-olds or the 14-year-olds. Talk about like the 7 or 8-year-olds where,
right.
Honestly, if I was a company, that's the target audience I would try to hit because A, they want the toys, B, they want to play the video games, C, they want the merchandise, and then they're going to ask mommy and daddy for it, and we're the ones that's going to buy it. And how do you get the older generation to appreciate it? Because then they won't mind buying the merchandise for their kids, and I think it's not perfect. I'm not saying Skeleton Crew is, but I did enjoy it. And you know why I enjoyed it? Because I was looking at my son, my 9-year-old, and he was totally engaged.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Matt. Like some of the acting, I was tuned out. Sure. I was absolutely tuned out. I'm like, my God, what is the kids are just, they could pick the better actor, in my opinion. Right? Nothing against them, but I just feel like, which I agree. But watching my son just like really like get focused on the show. And the last time he did that was Mandalorian season 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. All the other shows or movies, even Return of the Jedi, we watched it in the movie theater. He was just like,
yeah.
Like he will be engaged when there's Ewoks or there's some sort of fighting. But I would say 60 to 70% of the time, he was just out of it, right? And you have to look at those movies too, in terms of the CGI and it's outdated. It's a little outdated. Yeah, it aged well, but you could tell that it's an older film, right? Like, have you watched some of the older films your parents grew up with?
Oh yeah.
You're not gonna be like, oh yeah. You're not gonna watch that 50s Superman, black and white. Like you're not gonna be like, oh wow, you have to think of it in that sense.
Yeah, and I'll say this: the second episode, I enjoyed much more than the first. I mean, the first is like still building the characters and all that stuff, but like the second episode when they got to the pirate little pirate code thing, I had a great time with that because it's just interesting to see all the different aliens and all the different things that they made, and it's just and they just give you an introduction to the most fascinating thing so far to me was seeing someone that you saw at the very beginning, which is Jude Law as the pirate, right? You could tell it was Jude Law because you could hear his voice. So that main pirate guy that ended up getting overthrown or whatever, I mean, that's Jude Law, right? So when he's at the end of the second episode and he's moving and he's like Jediing those, he's force moving those keys. It's like, dude, how did this guy that was either a Jedi or something, right? That has like force abilities. How did he become a pirate? Like some freaking dude like that, right? So that's fascinating to me. I'm interested in that part of this a lot.
I do want to raise up a point which my wife brought it up to me while we were watching it together. She was like, "Why didn't he just do that in the first place?"
Well, yeah, no, you're right, and
That's a
that
good question.
that is a good
It's like
question.
she was like, "Why did he have to wait for the kids to get there?" Maybe there's a reasoning.
I think
don't
there's
know.
a reason. I think there's I think it's one of those situations where it's like, I think,
He might not have had a way off that planet.
Maybe he just
right,
needed a
exactly.
ship.
He might not have had a way to get off the planet. in
Yeah,
the first
maybe
place.
he noticed that there was a ship.
Right.
Then
Well, he heard him talking.
Yeah, he probably heard him
But
talking.
it could also be one of those situations where it's like, hey, he wants to help these. He actually wants to be like with these kids on this like thing. This like who knows? He might have heard them talking. Like it's so fascinating that this planet, no one's heard of this damn planet.
Yeah, they think it's a myth.
They think it's a myth. No one knows about it. Like it's like nobody knows this thing. So that's interesting too. Like what's going to happen there? And maybe he did hear about it. He wants to kind of follow these kids and figure. It's a good plan if he's going to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm really excited to see where the show goes, right? And like you said, Matt, like I agree with you. The first one was, I'm like, okay,
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay. Then the second one, I think once they got to the planet and I start seeing all the different aliens that we're familiar with, right? What's the guy, Pandababa? Like you saw, you saw his alien, and then you see that wolf pirate looking thing, and I thought that was cool because it's like it's not special effects, it's just practical effects.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of the costume, which I totally appreciate because that was, that's.
Listen,
what
I
made
appreciate
the
they're doing
original
that
trilogy.
I appreciate they're doing that across the whole thing. Like even the little elephant kid, like I appreciate that. That's like a practical.
Well, it's
effect
Max
going on.
Rebo's character, right? No,
I don't think so. I don't know. Similar.
Something close. Yeah.
Yeah,
but I would much rather them do that than have a bunch of CGI characters running around.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I think it's a better way to go.
Yeah, and like I said, like that's just a nice little nod to the original trilogy, right? Like they didn't have to do that, but I think that makes it feel like Star Wars, right?
Yeah,
like that. What makes Star Wars feel like Star Wars? You kind of have to go back to the older movies and try to incorporate not everything, maybe little things here and there, so it feels like Star Wars.
Well,
right?
it's an interesting idea, even Anthony, when you were talking about the suburbs and all this stuff. It's an interesting thought as producer, like if someone's producing the show, thinking to say like, hey, let's make it feel less like Star Wars at the beginning, and as we move through the show, it feels more and more and more and more and more like Star Wars. Yeah, because the planet they're on is so. Not maybe like you said, maybe there's something to it that it's just not touched.
That may be the case. And
it could be the case. It's an interesting idea to go with.
In my mind, I thought this could be Earth.
Sure.
Like way in the future.
Earth 2, like the Guardians, right?
Yeah. So it could be something like that.
Yeah, sure.
And like it's in another galaxy, and the fact that they call it something, and everybody thinks it's like a mythical place or whatever, and that could very well be the case. And if that's the case, then it's not that big of a deal for me.
Right.
If it stays like that, then I guess that's a different story, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But
I think My thing though with I did like a lot of the reused characters from the Cantina. There's a good amount of them that I kind of appreciated seeing.
Yeah.
My thing was it seemed like anytime they made a new alien creature, the design looked kind of off.
Yep.
So that
Like
I
the
don't know if
girl.
you see that green one looked so weird to me. Like that I don't think it was that one. It was in the school first episode.
Oh yeah.
That one there, and then I like the asteroid setting, you know, or that kind of like pirate layer thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then
Like
they
the
have
dock
to,
or something.
yeah, they just always have that obligatory scene where the person goes up and sees some creature they haven't seen, and they're staring at it for a while. Because I mean, my mind immediately goes, they're gonna sell a toy, that little floating fairy-looking thing that was. In
Oh
the cage.
yeah, I was like, you could probably get that. I was telling my wife, I was like, you could probably get that at Galaxy's Edge at some
That's
point.
what I was thinking. So
Right,
sometimes
like
I roll my
the
eyes a
creature,
little bit.
like
Yeah.
that. What's that creature store? Right. So, yeah, I
Yeah.
know that was a way.
Dude,
to
that
make-
that little guy
kinda-
fleeced them for like a
Yeah.
bunch
Oh,
of
yeah.
credits. Like when he got that money, he freaking ran away, bro. That
Yeah.
guy, like
Oh, that little creature
that
thing.
little creature thing, he was gone.
It
when he
was
got
like a
that money.
salacious crumb type of like thing, and I'm like, ew, like
Dude, that thing was awesome.
I'm like, they're probably gonna sell that on Galaxy's Edge at 2, and probably have it like sit on your.
And by
on
the
your
way,
shoulder.
you know, freaking this kid's dad can suck a dick. Like he's such a piece of shit.
he is right.
He's a piece of shit, dude. Like
Like,
that guy's was a horrible person.
Yeah, he was like not. I don't know. He was just. I don't know. Like, why wouldn't he? I don't know. Yeah, he was. He was not a nice father. I don't know what happened to them. I think the mom died, right?
Yeah,
Probably
so-
left him because he was like that.
yeah, because he's such an asshole.
That's such a dick.
She was like, "Fuck
Yeah.
this dude! All he does is bitch and complain.
Right. He's like
Yeah.
a comptroller or something.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
whatever he is just some
Worried
stupid
about his
ass.
damn job."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, like
like
the credit to
he's like, I
myself.
have to go back to work.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell? Like, you're
Yeah.
not concerned about
Yeah.
your
Go
son?
go buy some smaller glasses. And come back and be a father to me.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That guy's
No,
an
and
asshole.
by the way, what's with all the Lobots kids that are all running around? Right?
Oh, I think those kids are the Vespa crew from the Boba Fett show.
Are they?
no, no.
Yeah,
that would
the
be
mods,
crazy.
right?
That would be freaking nuts. Talk
She
about
looks like
talk
the-
about a show you don't want to be reminded of.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
She looks like the chick from X-Men, almost like a cross between the Storm Girl and the
Yeah.
Cyclops.
And like
a little bit.
Cyclops, yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, honestly, I like it because I think why wouldn't some people have that? That probably allows them to see all kinds of cool shit.
Yeah, but is it a Lobot character? Like,
I think
what
it's
is
a
Lobot?
Lobot-esque type of thing.
yeah. I think it's
Lo-
something like techie,
Right.
you know, or what were they calling those people in the Boba Fett show? Were they modders?
Oh,
Something
right.
like that, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
dude. I hated those modders, dude.
Yeah.
I think that's basically
That like
what she is.
They would probably they like if it was us though, you know, we'd probably pass a law to make it so that kids couldn't mod themselves.
Yeah.
So, so I don't know if she's
Mod
too young to
yourself.
mod herself. I
yeah.
just think it's like a tech thing. I think
It
it's
is
like
a thing.
like you said, I think it's
so
just a tech thing.
she's a regular person.
I think
Right.
so.
Yeah, if you look at the
Is Lobot
like-
a regular person?
I think so.
no, I always thought he was an android.
Oh, was he?
I thought he was
an
an
That's
android.
the way
Is he
I
straight
always
up-
thought.
Is he straight up robot?
I thought.
I mean, I always thought so because of the name too, like Lobot Robot.
Yeah,
You know, Lobot the robot. I don't.
but wasn't there a
guess.
modder? that
I
was
mean,
with
because
the pirate?
you know, I'm not sure,
It
but
was,
you know, in
uh,
Star Wars, right? It's like all these different names, like General Grievous. I remember when I first
Yeah.
heard that, I'm like, General Grievous. Was he doing grieving everybody? Like, what's going on here?
That
then
guy
Lobot.
did not need a heart.
No.
General Grievous did not need a heart, and he had one for some reason.
Yeah. But
That's
anyway,
how,
like,
that's how we're all gonna look in 20 years with Elon Musk.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I just noticed there was a lot of like Lobots, and the way she was just acting, it was very robotic too. So
Was she supposed to like? Is that supposed to give her like a like intelligence or something? Because I feel like she was the one always
Kinda.
like.
Is it Google Lens?
She was like plugging
Yeah, I
into
think
the
let
like
you-
hacking the door or whatever.
Yeah,
And
let's
the
just like
scene.
tech things, right? Like it lets
That's
you.
the way I took it.
What'd you guys
robot-
think about?
I like.
What'd you
this
get? Yeah, I like this robot too.
I honestly like that there's a rat in his eye too. Like whatever the hell's in his eye, I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, like why not?
I could have
Well, you
done
know-
without the pirate R voice, but it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I think they're gonna.
That I will say, Anthony, this is one of the only things that I kind of was a little bit frustrated with. I remember thinking about it when I was watching it. Is like, do we always have to have another genre? Like I felt the same way when I watched Mandalorian, and I felt like we were watching a Western at times.
Yeah.
And I was like, why do we have to have a Western inside of Star Wars? Like, why do we have to do that? I get that it's a callback a little bit, and I understand where they're going with this whole pirate thing, like a Goonies type of thing.
Goonies.
You don't have to full on. You don't have to go.
It doesn't have to
fully
be
there.
that much on the nose.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that
but
kind of.
I had a feeling.
The monkey or whatever. It is.
thing is like,
Yeah.
What the hell is that thing?
that thing's about to die.
And like, I mean, if you got off a ship and you saw that thing, like, I would not let it like come near me.
Dude, that
But the-
thing has hepatitis. look at that thing.
Minimum of just hepatitis. Bare minimum.
At least, yeah.
Holy shit.
Probably
like-
like a side of rabies and
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's
maybe the clap, maybe a little syphilis on the ears.
crazy.
Yeah, I just saw the kid like just give it money and just totally ran away. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
But you
That's
know,
not
like,
someone you give money to. That's someone you throw money to.
the
You
whole-
like,
Yeah, you
like
don't
toss
touch it.
at 'em.
the whole thing where they were with this genre thing, I had a feeling early on that this was going to be a thing because they were doing it in Marvel,
Sure.
where you had the different movies. It was like spy thriller. It was like a
Right.
buddy cop. You kind of saw that was what they were doing, and they carried it over into.
I
Star Wars.
honestly think that's where things are going because I
Yeah.
just
yeah,
and you know what, I don't really blame them for that because it's so hard to keep. It's honestly so hard to please everybody. First of all, it's really hard to please us and hard to please everybody. So I think just trying to say, hey, we're gonna keep this in the universe, but we're gonna do this style. I don't know. I kind of don't blame him for that. It's got to be tough. It's
I
got to be
think it
really
could
hard.
work. Like I think it could definitely work if you go that route. I don't necessarily have a problem with that.
I'll say it works better in the Marvel universe.
Absolutely.
There's no question about
Absolutely.
that. There's no question.
Yeah,
About that.
I would. Yeah, 100%.
I definitely agree with you guys on that.
But like I think there's a lot that they could do that is just like the writers, the directors, whomever, not having a good grasp of like the universe they're in. And
Yeah.
if they did those things and then kept within they need somebody that would almost just be like a dictionary or encyclopedia about Star Wars.
But see, again, this is the problem though, Anthony. You've got Filoni and Favreau on as like, aren't they the executive producers of this thing or producers of this thing?
Probably, yeah.
They have those people. Filoni is literally an encyclopedia of Star Wars. Like,
yeah, but
he's
Filoni takes a lot of liberty. If you go back and look at the
True.
Clone Wars, like he knows an unbelievable amount about the lore and stuff, but like he'll go off on out in the
No,
left
I agree.
field do some crazy shit.
and Favreau's the one that made
Nando.
didn't he give us didn't he give us Book of Boba Fett? He wrote Book of Boba Fett, didn't he?
I believe so.
Supposedly, but
Holy
I don't
shit,
think
dude.
I don't think he really. I think he kind of like gave.
He might
a-
have started it
like,
and then it
might-
got completely bad.
I think he kind of did it.
Well,
And
I
that's
think
the
why-
concerning part for me is like, listen, you've got, you're not wrong, and that's the thing is if they're gonna go down this road of like everything needs to feel like Star Wars completely, you've got to have a really good team of people that are consistently making these things. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. And so, doing something like this may be the only way to keep going and making.
Yeah.
Stuff. I don't know.
I don't necessarily think it would be difficult because they have the people in house. They've got to be making
We
decisions.
did it with Andor. In my
Exactly.
opinion, not everyone
Yeah.
likes Andor, but in my opinion,
No.
they did it with Andor.
Like there is minimal in
Rogue
it
One.
that there's minimal in those that like it's just doesn't feel like it belongs there. so they have the ability to do it, but I
Yeah.
think part of the problem is that they're bringing in writers. You know, we saw it in
Yeah.
Acolyte, where they're like basically they actually want people that have never seen Star Wars, and if you do that stuff, you're
Sure.
going to get something that doesn't feel like Star Wars.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing too is that like I like what they're doing. They're trying to like, try something different, where they're trying to get like newer audience,
Yeah.
hooked into watching the show, which I totally appreciate. And a lot of like nods to like the 80s and like
I
some
have
of
a
the
hard
things that we
time,
grew up.
PJ. I have a hard time critiquing this too much, even though we just did.
It's
Because it's me. I feel like it's more geared to a little bit more geared towards the younger audience, and I just think it's supposed to be watched and enjoyed and have fun. It's an adventure, just like the Goonies was just an adventure to watch and enjoy.
Mhm.
I think it's kind of that type of thing. So it's hard for me to like fully get on board with critiquing it, but I do think,
You know what? One thing too, which I absolutely hate, is the fact that they release this weekly. I wish they would I think they,
I agree.
release everything all at once, so that I think once we see the whole thing straight through, then you could have like an honest opinion about that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. There's one bad episode. You move on and you
Right.
watch the next one, and it's great. And and this is the thing too, is like I think with this whole weekly concept, I get it. They want people to stay subscribed and not cancel their subscription, which is money for them.
And to be fair, a lot more do that than don't. Right?
Yeah.
There's not a lot of them that really just put it out there.
Netflix is the only company that does it. And to be honest, like some of their shows I heard were really good, like Arcane. Everyone keeps talking about Arcane. I don't know. I gotta check it out. But like I just kind of wish that they would stop.
It would be nice if they pick and choose which ones to do it with. Like I think something like this would benefit from being able to just watch the episodes, right?
Yeah.
Because I think kids would prefer to be able to watch the episodes as they want to watch them instead of waiting. And I think it would benefit
I agree
for
That's
that.
a good point.
So I think you could hold other stuff back. Like I think something like an Andor, it's long enough. It's long enough that you get enough in a week, and like a 30-something minute episode is just so damn short. It's like, man, you want more than that. The 2 episodes was nice to be able to watch those 2 episodes.
Yeah.
So if it would be nice even if they just did that. If they said, hey, we're going to put 2 episodes out every week.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I think the second one was like 25 minutes, wasn't it? If you take
Something
out
like
the
it was
credits,
short.
30
Yeah.
or 28.
I think it was like 35, but then when you get rid of the credits and all that
That's
stuff,
what I mean. Once you do
I
that,
just feel like
so-
I hate these 30-minute episodes, right, Steve? Like,
I know.
I feel like you can't develop characters within a 30-minute episode. I don't know what it is. Is it like budget or whatever the case is? Make
I
it
think
them
it's
all
just,
like 40 minutes.
I think it's just the nature of these. Well, I don't know. I think the problem is
Costs a lot more to make
we're expecting movies, and unfortunately, we just can't get that with the budget of these TV shows. So they gotta really squeeze everything in,
And I was telling Jason when Jason and I were talking about this, I was telling him about this, basically saying that I look forward to, and I think Andor did this. I look forward to having a long, like a Game of Thrones length show.
Yeah.
That is Star Wars, right? That is consistently going to be that. Even Andor, I don't think was like fully consistent on that. And that's something Jason was saying that he gets pissed about, is that the inconsistency of time of length in these episodes is just so annoying, because you never know what you're going to get. You never know if it's going to be 30 minutes or 40 or what. It'd be nice if they kept that more consistent.
Well, I'll give you an example, and I haven't watched it myself, but I heard like a ton of great things about it. Is The Penguin, right? On
it's so good. It's so good.
Okay. So, I mean, I know you watched it, and not to spoil anything, I heard the episodes are about an hour or close to an hour each.
Right.
Yep.
I don't understand why we can't do that with Star Wars, right? Like,
They
even
can,
I get
it's
it.
a
I
choice.
get it.
There's a lot more CGI though as well.
I get it, but you cannot. I mean,
But
so was
what?
Game of Thrones. And
Exactly. The
they're
budget
close
of
to an
House of
hour.
the Dragon, the budget of House of the Dragon was the same as the Acolyte.
Yeah. Hey, honestly, I'm not as concerned about that as if the story was there, they would make it longer. right? If the story was, if the story needed they needed the time lengths to be longer, which I think in Andor it did, they make the episodes longer. So I think what's going on is they're writing these shows, and they're written in a shorter, like shorter format. I just don't think they're writing them in these longer formats shows. So, I think they need the right stories to do that. And to be fair with this show, this could be a very purposeful thing on their side of things, because kids don't tend to watch long shows. So they might want to keep these shorter for that reason. I can appreciate, I'm going to understand this show doing that, but I just want to see I want to see Star Wars shows that are more consistent in time and longer.
Yes, like The Mandalorian, like, some of these other shows.
Even The Mandalorian was so short at times, though. I mean,
like there's one episode that's like 45 minutes or 50 minutes, and then the next week it's like 28.
Yeah.
You're like, what
it's crazy.
Like how does that make sense?
More of the norm, and Andor was the anomaly.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, speaking of Andor, and this is probably our last topic before we end the stream. Andor, I'm really, really excited for.
Yeah.
Really excited for. I know there was a lot of people that didn't like Andor because it was long. It was something different. It was very serious. It's a lot of good acting, got a lot of good writing. And I didn't... I wasn't one of those that didn't like it, but I was just kind of thrown off with the format, right? But I did still like it. I think Andor season 1 will age well over time, especially once season 2 comes out and complements season 1. And then you also have Rogue One.
Well,
I think season 1 is just going to be one of those where people can rewatch that and just totally appreciate it in a whole different level because of the other things.
PJ, Andor benefits from having a direction.
Yeah.
Andor benefits from having a clear path forward. And you know where it's going. You know exactly where it's going. You know what's going to happen. It benefits from that because there's no swerving anything. There's no like you know what's coming. You know it's where it's going. Yeah. And I think the writers, everybody has a clear direction, and I think that's really good for that show. And I think they just knocked it out of the park with the writing and the actors they chose for things. I mean, the actors are ridiculous in that show.
Yeah, like rewatching that scene from when they were stuck in the prison, the Kino Loss, like a speech, that was pretty powerful for a Star Wars show.
Dude, what's the guy that's the curator of that museum, the antiquities things, or whatever his name is.
Oh yeah, I forgot his name.
Is he a Sarsgaard?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Fantastic character.
He's amazing, but his speech at the end of that series.
Oh yeah,
when he was up on that whatever thing with freaking
Ledge,
Diego Luna, that was incredible. I mean, absolutely incredible acting from him. That's the kind of shit that I freaking love in Andor. I just think it's so good, and they did such a good job. Mon Mothma's an amazing character in that show.
Yeah,
and so I can't wait, dude.
I just think that like not a lot of people were used to it because they were expecting a lot of action, espionage, and that was kind of like what was advertised, and what was shown was like, oh my god, this is like a very drawn out show and character development and like environment development. There's a lot of things that was developing, but I think once season 2 hits, once like you're looking at this takes place over 4 years, it'll be like a 1 year time like there's a lot more like a faster pacing. I think building on what they have already on top of what they already built, is just gonna make it even better. And I'm telling you, people are gonna watch season 1. I'm gonna call it season 1, and they're gonna be like, this is phenomenal.
And
this
PJ,
is amazing.
What's going to be cool is we're going to get Krennic in there, which is awesome. I hope I would love to see Galen Erso in there. I just don't know if that's going to happen.
I think it is. I think he is because he's coming to Celebration next year.
I would love that, dude.
I think that's just probably like a hidden surprise.
It makes sense. I don't see why we wouldn't.
I think there's a lot of like cameos that we are going to see.
Yeah.
Maybe like Jyn Erso walking in the back or something, or gets mentioned, or whatever the case is. I think we're going to get all those characters.
I'd love to get a Digi Tarkin, again. Like that would be really cool.
Yeah.
So I can't remember how many years was season 1 of Andor supposed to be before the events of Rogue One.
I don't know, because the next season takes place over 4 years, is what they're saying. So
Okay.
it's got to be
At least like 4
5
years.
Or 6, yeah. So
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I think what some people were expecting of the first season was this to kind of be like where season 2 is going to be.
Exactly. That's what I was heading.
and
I
so-
think that's what they were expecting it to be.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting.
I mean, that's what I was expecting. I'm being totally honest. Yeah.
I really liked it, but I probably would have liked it more had it not necessarily, it would have been like he's already in the rebellion, or maybe like he first gets recruited into it or something like that, and seeing how he meets K2 and, maybe having some of these other backroom deals going on. But I agree. I think season 2 will probably enhance season 1, and anybody that kind of was like, oh, I don't know, it was all right, they'll probably really like it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Steven, did you like Andor season?
So I didn't finish it.
Oh my gosh!
I know, that's why I've been quiet here. I'm like, I didn't
Gotta
finish
finish it.
Gotta finish it.
The first couple episodes, I thought it was refreshing to have it not be as how do I say this nicely? I guess cringe as what we just came off of Boba Fett at that point, or Mando season 3.
Sure.
So some of those were a little bit of we'll call them letdowns for me. So it was refreshing to see something different. But I just think we need around to finishing it. That's maybe.
You should,
more
dude. It's great. It's great that you can finish it and then watch this new season.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
It's
I'll
so
just
worth
restart.
it, dude. Yeah, it's so worth it.
I'll just restart like right before this one comes out. So
You're gonna love it. It's really good, and especially if you could just roll straight into this thing. I mean, it'd be freaking awesome.
See,
Now,
what would be awesome is if they're going to have Krennic, Saw Gerrera, like you said, if they this could possibly be in the ballpark of like 4 to 5 years before Rogue One. So you could have Jen Erso. It could be a different actress, and this could be a teenager. And she could be with Saw Gerrera.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because initially, like in Rogue One, she's in that prison thing. So, it's gonna be interesting to see if they bring in certain characters, or they just kind of sidestep certain characters, or they make reference to them. I'm really interested to see Diego Luna's character develop, because he in Rogue One you see him like kill that dude at the beginning.
Yeah,
like he just does whatever he has to. He doesn't give a shit. So like it's going to be fascinating to see.
You're probably going to see a situation that will make you completely understand why he just did what he did.
Yeah, sure.
There's probably going to be something that's going to happen, and somebody did not do that, and they end up dying,
right?
Because they didn't do it.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah,
it's gonna be great, and it's gonna roll right. It rolls right up to. It goes right up to Rogue One, right?
Like they're saying that like where it leaves off is like you could just watch Rogue One, and
it's fantastic.
So it'll take right in that era.
Did any of y'all ever read the book Catalyst that came out before Rogue One?
No.
Okay, if you ever get a chance, you can listen to audiobooks and stuff like that. That book is absolutely phenomenal. And if you liked or loved Rogue One, it only makes Rogue One better because you get all of the backstory with the Ursos. You get all the backstory with Krennic. It is absolutely fantastic. And that scene where Krennic is rolling up on that planet, it has so much more weight to it when you know all the stuff that the Ursos and the wife, what was her name?
I forgot.
Yeah. But anyway, like there's so many scenes where Krennic is talking to Galen, and the wife is like, I don't want to do this. We need to leave. Like it's just building and building and building.
Lyra?
Yeah, Lara or something like that. There's so many scenes with that. It is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and then like you said, like what Matt said, like CGI Tarkin. What happens if we get like a little hint of Emperor, because the Death Star is being built, so
I think you could go without. You could go without the Emperor, and you could just have mention of him. I think it would be weird.
Well, they did
if
that
Tarkin,
in season 1.
Yeah.
So they
I
could've
think it would
mentioned
be weird if Tarkin wasn't in it.
No, they have to bring Tarkin in.
But again, in my opinion, it's a little bit weird if Galen's not in it because he's so integral into that making this thing.
If you're having Krennic in it, you have to have him in it.
Well, and think about this too. Like it could be fascinating to see more of the bones of the Death Star, right? Because
Like
we see it.
on.
Yeah, we see it like really being like finished almost, right?
Yeah.
Finished. It would be great to see that thing. I mean, how long did it take him to build this thing? Like,
it took him a long time.
All right, a long time. So, like, you think you could see it in its, early on in its. I mean, we saw them at the end of Andor. What was it? They were bringing.
Yeah, they were bringing that little satellite dish.
Yeah, the things in, right? That they were gonna. So it'd be really cool to actually see at times the different production timing.
Yeah, well, see, the thing about the Death Star is it was very compartmentalized, and you had different places that were building different stuff,
pieces of it, and then bringing it up.
and then it was all brought to a certain. I believe most of the putting it together was above Geonosis, and then they basically killed all the Geonosians.
Like you would.
Exactly. Yeah. And I actually think it would make sense if they went to Geonosis. If they were trying to figure, well, I don't know. I mean, at least from the Empire side of it, they should kind of show it, but the rebels didn't necessarily find out about it until the very last minute. But it would be interesting.
Supposedly we're gonna get Yavin, like how the rebels are forming.
It should,
Yavin.
because that would be where they were having their meeting.
It's confirmed that they're all their home base.
It would make perfect sense.
Well,
I mean, but just to see Yavin and all the rebels in it, fucking amazing.
And we're gonna get a decent amount of K2SO too, which is it could be cool to see him getting programmed or getting turned or whatever.
And the banter that they had between each other, I enjoyed that in Rogue One. K2SO and Diego Luna's character. So
yeah, it's probably one of the best droids I think that Disney.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was like a nice mix of C-3PO and like a freaking I don't know what's another droid that kills people, but it was so awesome, and I'm excited. I'm really excited for season 2. I feel like it's going to elevate season 1 and Rogue One as well.
Imagine all the meetings that you kind of had the backroom deals with Skarsgård and Mothma, and having all of that on Yavin.
Oh yeah. The only thing I just don't like is that character that eats the cereal. What's his name? Cyril?
Yeah, they got to get away from that damn cereal shit. They don't have to waste time doing that stuff.
I don't think they will anymore. I think it's going to move. I would think it's going to move pretty quickly.
I mean,
from
I think that was the only thing I just.
Because you got to think, Mon Mothma's still. Isn't she still in the Senate or whatever?
Senator. Yep.
So she's got a. She was
a senator in Rogue One.
Was she?
Yeah.
I don't remember her. I don't remember that. But either way, she's got to start showing up at these, Yeah,
I'm thinking that all these backroom deals are going to start being at Yavin.
Yeah.
You're probably going to have all of those leader people that were in Rogue One. That's where they're going to be.
Yeah.
And it's going to be there's probably going to be something that will basically say, we need to bring more people in. Things are getting out of control. And because it's all going to be boiling to that point. I actually hope they get a younger Saw Gerrera. I'd love to see how he got all fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
interesting.
All right. Before we wrap things up, I just want to say thank you to Steven, Anthony, and Matt for joining tonight's show. I really appreciate it. And one thing I have to say though, I'm really looking forward to Skeleton Crew because you know what? It's one of the first times in a while where I go online and I don't see people fighting over this show.
It's gotten good reviews so far. It really has.
It has I'm not saying everyone loves the show, but it's just refreshing. There's no division or
it hasn't been the shit show that the Acolyte was.
Yeah.
yeah,
It-
it's gotten it's
And I know
gotten
PJ, like,
favorable.
that is his favorite, you know? But-
yeah, it just like I said, I mean, again, like I have nothing against people that love Acolyte. I just wasn't for me, and I get it.
I do. I think
But
their
I
stuff's
just
human.
no, but the thing too is this: I just enjoyed the fact that like now I feel like we're heading in the right direction. Maybe it's one of those things where we had to take a couple steps back to have
Well,
move
and,
4 steps forward, and I think we're heading in that
and
right
PJ,
direction.
I've always been saying that, like, look, if you have legitimate problems with anything, great. But if you're just going to shit on this because Disney owns it, or you're going to shit on it because whatever, because the last one wasn't good, well, that's not okay. Like, if it's okay for you not to like something, like that's totally fine. And if you have a reason for it, then great. But just understand that other people might like it, and so you have to be somewhat careful in how you talk about things, because it just doesn't help for us to just shit on things for no reason.
Yeah.
Well,
but
I agree. And I think, like all the criticisms that I've had have been, like, choices that they've made that
Sure.
just don't make sense for the world that they're in.
right,
And it would be the same thing if they were doing, I don't know, a Marvel thing, and
right,
they had stuff in it that just made absolutely no sense
right.
for the Marvel show. And there are some people that just go overboard and just dunk on it. you
Well,
know.
it becomes a cult mind,
Yeah.
following
Yeah,
mindset
echo
where,
chamber
where like
a little bit.
for me, it's okay if you don't like something, and it's okay if you have that reason. Just understand that everybody's different. Like, things bother people that don't bother other people, and that's just the world we live in, and that's okay. So I might like something that you guys don't like. It doesn't matter. Like, as long as, and if there's a Star Wars show that
Respectful.
that's I'm not super into, but you guys like, then good for you, man. Like, enjoy that show, and maybe the next one will be something that I can pick up on, right? So,
And the thing too is, it's also exhausting too. Like, I think Acolyte exhausted me. I think because it was so
there's
divided.
a lot of division,
division, and it was just very exhausting to the point where, I mean, like I like I say, if you like it, great.
Yeah.
It's not for me. It's
Right.
just wasn't for me.
yeah, it's okay.
But it's just refreshing, like with this show, where I go online on Facebook or whatever the case is, or Instagram. No one's fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. No
There
one's
wasn't
saying
a dozen hate videos about it.
exactly. There's no
Yeah.
no one talking about it constantly. No one. It's just okay. Hey, it was nice and fun. Great.
I think the
That's
thing that is extremely frustrating for me is, I have the feeling that if they did things and they kept it within the confines of the world that they're in, I just don't understand why they can't do that.
Mm.
I don't think that, like, people that are new fans will dislike it because they keep the kind of like the rules in place.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
that's
I
the
think
way I
it's
look at it.
yeah, and I think it's tough. I think because the way I look at it is some people wanted George Lucas to make, to stay and make his version of Star Wars, right? But the problem I have is that if George Lucas stayed in place, we'd still be talking about midichlorians all the time. We'd still be talking about the wills and all this other shit that I don't give a shit about, right? And I love Star Wars. And so, like, I think it just depends. I think it depends on what kind of Star Wars, like what gets you going about Star Wars and what you like about Star Wars. I do agree, though, Anthony, that, like, a good story is a good story, period.
Mhm.
Like, a good story is a good story. And I think they've struggled to put out good stories, like really
Yep.
like amazing stories. And I personally think Andor was a good example of a story that I actually wanted to see and I actually wanted to view. And that's what they need to do. They need to keep doing that. And that universally, if you put out a good story, people are going to want to watch it. People are going to want to see it, whether you're, even if you're not as big of a Star Wars fan, there's some people that just want to watch a good show. They want to watch a good story. So,
Yeah.
and you can bring them in that way. So I think that's what they need to be focused on, is just telling overall good stories. and they can do that by keeping it faithful to
Yeah.
the Star Wars, what Star Wars is.
I think, they're learning, and I feel like with the next set of shows with Skeleton Crew and Andor season 2, I don't know what else is after that.
Yeah.
Ahsoka season 2, Mandalorian Grogu. I think we're heading in the right direction where Star Wars needs to be.
Well, I think you're right, PJ. They're learning lessons like what Anthony mentioned before that I think is relevant. That like, which I honestly didn't care so much about with the Acolyte. The Acolyte didn't bother me as much as it bothered other people. I could watch it; it was fine. But I do understand that the idea that like, why are you getting people that don't know Star Wars to write Star Wars? Like, it doesn't really make sense, and I can completely understand that. Even if I don't mind a show and I think a show is okay, I still think it would probably be better if all these people understood Star Wars. It would probably be that much better. So like that, but that's a good example of like, that's what you get when you put freaking Rian Johnson in as a director for Last Jedi, and he wants to blow it up, right? That's his thought of how to make this really good. That's not to say that he didn't understand Star Wars necessarily, but he wanted to do something completely crazy and different. That's not really where we should be going.
And it's not like he's not like a bad director.
No, he's not. He's a great director. He's a great director.
He's a fantastic, exactly, like Looper, like Knives Out, and all these other movies that he's done. He's a fantastic director. But again, if we don't give him direction, right? If you go, hey, Ryan, go at it.
Yeah.
Then he's going to go at it, right?
We should never be throwing a grenade into the foxhole
universe.
It's unnecessary. It's unnecessary.
It's unnecessary. You have a good property. You have a good following. You have a good thing going. Do not explode what you have. Like
exactly.
Do it.
I look at it like
you're not going to ask Christopher Nolan to go in and go, hey, make a Star Wars movie for us. Because he's gonna be like, okay, well, this is my version of Star Wars. Then he's probably like,
you never say, hey, Christopher Nolan, we want nipples on the Batman,
right?
On your version of Batman. He's like, what are you talking about? Like, you never ask him for that, and so why would you do something like that, right? So it's just.
I also think of it like this: like, let's just say, for the sake of argument, I was a writer. I know damn near nothing about Harry Potter, and if I got hired to write Harry Potter movie, I would be wanting to, number one, like, read all the books, find the foremost authority on the Harry Potter movies that was in our wheelhouse, and I would want that person to sit right next to me and help me guide me through this.
Yeah, sure.
But these people seem to not have that like humble attitude to where, like, hey, I need to do my homework. I need to like maybe find out what's the best route to go about this.
Well, I mean, it's also like, hey, Anthony, like, go make a Harry Potter movie, and you're like, okay, well, I need some reference. Like, no, just go at it, bro.
Yeah.
And then you go and
roll the dice.
you start having like, I don't know, like some wand fighting. Like, instead of like them casting a spell, they're actually just using their sticks and fighting.
Exactly.
And then,
pretty cool.
And then everybody's gonna be like, what the fuck did he just do? Why are they having sword fights with the wands? That's not the way this works. That's not how any of this works.
You know what's so confusing as well about the Star Wars situation is that like there's not a hell of a lot you can point to as to what is wrong necessarily. Everyone has a different idea of what is kind of wrong.
Yeah.
But you can't point to like even people that go, it's Kathleen Kennedy's fault. Well, Kathleen Kennedy's been in charge of Rogue One.
Indiana Jones.
She's been in charge of Andor. She's been in charge of Mandalorian. Like she's been executive producer for all of these things. So yeah, there's bad things and good things, but like no one ever. That's the thing. I'm just saying that you can point to Jon Favreau for doing good things, but he's also done some like.
Mm-hmm.
Not so great.
So it's really hard to wrap your head around what's wrong with what they're doing. It's tough. It's hard to figure it out. And I hope to God they really get a grasp on things and they start to figure out, like you said, PJ, hopefully they're learning with all the stuff that they're making, what people like, what they don't like, what has worked and hasn't worked. Honestly, the volume, I think, is one of those things that we figured out doesn't work as well as they think it works.
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
makes the
like
world
you
feel smaller than it is. It's crazy.
that you can't use it all the time. I
No.
guess it's cost effective to
Right.
use it,
Yeah.
but
And you'd think it would expand your world.
situational.
You think it would
Yeah.
expand the possibilities, but it doesn't. It makes it feel smaller. It makes it feel like you're
Yeah.
in this little like
it's
So-
it's
You
like
don't think the
it's like Chat GPT for freaking like
Yeah, yeah.
star
It
like
is.
movie making. You know what I'm saying? Like, just
it's
go
really
to
weird.
go to the actual place.
But
and
that's
freaking
what I'm
film it.
saying. But that's what I'm saying. It's difficult. I think you bring anybody on a project, it's just hard. It's hard to figure out how to make something that is gonna work in the Star Wars universe. I don't know. I just don't think it's as easy as we all think.
No,
it
I'm
could
sure
be,
it's
and
not. But I'm sorry,
a
Steven.
lot.
You're saying
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, you don't think part of the reason maybe this didn't get as much flack as some of the other shows is that it really doesn't have any implications for the rest of the storyline? Because I think that was
Sure.
part of the problem with Acolyte, is that you know it had to end up somewhere, and even then you could just go off the premise didn't make any sense, right? So just
Yeah.
right off the get go that there's multiple Sith and all this, you know. Like the
That
kind
was
of
a huge
lore, the
problem.
lore breaking, you know, from the
Yeah.
established movies, especially the main six, to have to go back and step on toes and
Yeah.
rewrite things and
Yeah.
whatnot is maybe why there was.
I
more
think I
pushback.
personally think canon is a huge problem for Star Wars.
Oh, for
I know
sure.
people
It's
love
all over the
canon, but I
place.
think it's so hard to make things and stay within canon because it can't you cannot break
Yeah.
anything. You don't have some crazy multiverse like
Yeah.
Marvel where they can literally do anything they want. Like they could make a freaking crayon version of Doctor Strange and you're like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's just another
Okay.
variant. Like,
version very.
Well, I do think canon can be a problem, but I also think in some ways you're just blatantly not even trying.
Yeah.
Sure, and it can also be something that grounds everything as well. It can
Yeah.
be a strength or a
Mhm.
weakness, I think, right?
Like,
And
we'll just take in the Acolyte. All right. Had they not used Plo Koon and they had a completely different character in that thing, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
right.
Then you're like, is he lying? Did he forget? Like, you know.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
not only like it's not that he was there; it's that he's the one that
He's,
said.
yeah.
It's not his age. It's not the fact that
Right.
they changed that stuff. It's the fact that he is the one character on the Jedi Council
Sure.
that says there hasn't been a Sith for a millennia.
Yeah.
You don't think too that part of it too is for whatever reason they feel the need to call back with a lot of these things, and
I think
They
it
kind of-
is, but like
you know.
But I think, like going back to what Anthony said, or Matt, is just that like you just have to hire people that know, like
Yeah,
we
they know.
It's
look at
a
Marvel.
lot to it's a lot
A lot of those movies, yes, there might be multiverses and stuff, but there's a lot of like connections.
Sure. Yeah.
Right, and then
Yeah.
a lot of these people that done their research, and they have a team that's dedicated,
And
making
Feige
sure
knows-
everything.
Feige knows all those connections. Like it's,
Yes.
it's
Exactly.
crazy.
Exactly.
He does. He really does.
Like, think about it. If they did any other Jedi than Plo Koon, it's not a big deal.
yeah.
yeah.
But
You know-
it's
you know
the
what's hard,
one
though?
character you can't
You know,
do.
yeah, you're right. You know what's hard is that
That's what
it's-
I'm so frustrating.
I agree. It's tough though because this is one of those things where like I could give a shit. Right? I personally could I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I could care less. I could totally give a shit about that. So this is one of those things where like I think it just depends on the way the type of fan you are and the type of person what you care about, which is different than other people, right? Because I see that and I go, I don't like who gives a shit? Like I don't care. But I
Right.
know that people do. I know people give a
But
shit.
think about it like this. and
But
this
yes,
is
if
what
they
really-
didn't do it, it would be not a non-thing
right,
for everybody.
That's
for
my
everybody.
Yeah.
thing. Like
Totally.
it doesn't affect you and
Right.
it doesn't affect me. If they made up all these other characters,
I totally get that.
that's what's so frustrating for me
Yeah.
is because it is just
The choices they make don't have
are
to.
just ignorant. Like
It-
You,
I
you
agree,
could almost
I
think
agree.
they're doing it on
I agree.
purpose, to be honest.
it damn
with
sure
some of
feels
them.
like it sometimes. It damn sure
Well,
feels
At
yeah,
times,
and that gets you back to the whole Ryan Johnson thing. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do feel like there's some people that just kind of want to come in and like shake things up a little bit, or like break things a little bit, or like you know what I mean? Like and that
Stir the
would be
pot.
it would be
Yeah.
nice to not have that in such a big IP, such a big franchise. Like it'd be
Yeah,
nice to
let's
just don't do
ex-
that. You don't need to do that.
Exactly, and I think like I feel like we're, like I said, like going back to what I was saying, is that I think we're heading in the right direction. Like this is a good, like there was like a good break where we didn't get any content.
Yeah.
There was no like, okay, we were done with that. Now go straight to this. There was a nice break. Skeleton Crew came out at the perfect time around Christmas time, the holiday seasons.
Yeah.
And it's going to lead up to Andor, which is something that we're going to look forward to. I think we're heading in the right direction. I just hope that they just try to take like a U-turn and try to do something different.
I think they just need to slow down.
I think this is perfect. Hey, I enjoyed Skeleton Crew. I love the fact that I was connecting with my son. I think that's the most important
that's
thing.
great.
Like,
That's great.
Yeah.
and like the fact that like he's learning how a Jedi is. Like, wow, like whoa, cool. Like, and these kids are doing the whole like whatever. It's
And if
we'll
you want to,
see.
if you want to grow up to be an elephant someday, you can.
Is this supposed to be in the same time period as like
Mando.
Mando? Okay,
Because
so-
the guy from
so.
the pirate, which we had on the show, Martellus, I forgot his last name, but he was on the show. He's a pirate, so his connection is with Mando season 3. So I think it's happening in the Mando world. I think they're trying. This is the the Mandoverse. This is what they're trying to promote. Hopefully, they can connect things together, and I think we're heading the right direction, guys. Honestly, I have a strong feeling we are, and I think Disney's
I
finally.
hope so, but I think they've also earned our skepticism.
Oh yeah.
It'll be
which is
cautiously
like
optimistic.
which is no doubt. So, all right, guys. I was trying to log out 30 minutes before, but that's why I love. Having these
Akbar
conversations.
would be awesome.
Seriously.
I'd love to see him in the second season.
Oh, season 2, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So thank you, Steven. Please check out Matt from Rogue One 6. Just really quick, Matt.
You want to?
Great show. I think you guys. By the way, congrats. I think your Facebook group is growing pretty exponentially.
Yeah, thanks to Cece.
Yeah. Cece's amazing. Shout out to her. Anything coming up for the Rogue One 6 crew?
Yeah, we're
From the
gonna do
Rogue
some.
One 6?
We're gonna do some stuff. I think we're. I gotta talk. I'm really pushing us to do a holiday special.
Nice.
We're gonna do. We're trying to do something where we just talk, like we hit up, like just show all the different like fun things you can use to decorate that are Star Wars, or just like
Okay,
fun
can
things
you-
like that.
Well, let me know because I just decorated my Christmas.
If you want to
tree.
jump on for that, that'd be great.
If you would have me on, I would
Yeah.
love to come on because honestly, I have a lot of Star Wars
It's
decorations.
fun. It's kind of
more
something.
so this time around than
Yeah,
last year.
yeah. It's kind of something I've been wanting to do for a little bit, just because I think that'd be a lot of fun. And then beyond that, we're gonna do some more product spotlight stuff. It just depends on what comes out that we can do.
Mhm.
And then I think we're gonna try to do. Jason's been really pushing. He really wants to do a recap of the auction, the Propster auction that was recently happened, and kind of talk about kind of the results of that. Like just go over some of the products that were sold and stuff. I think that'd be a lot of fun. So I think we might do that as well. We're trying to figure that out. It's hard after a break like Thanksgiving to kind of just get back into it.
things.
So yeah, we're trying to figure that out. But
Yeah. So guys, please check out our friends from Rogue One 6. Rogue One 6. I'll put the link to their their channel in the chat. But Anthony, thank you again for hopping on the
man.
show.
It's always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure to have you on. But yeah, thank you guys again for taking that time out of your busy day to check us out. We won't be back next week because I'll be in Florida. Trying to pick up some Galaxy.
are you PJ? Are you staying around your area for Christmas, or are you going somewhere else? Or
No, we're going to. Yeah, this is our trip is to Florida, Orlando, and honestly, I know my wife doesn't admit this, but she is a big Disney fan. And sometimes, dude, I know Matt, you could probably relate to what I'm gonna say. It's so hard she wants to stay all the way to the end, bro.
yeah,
I can't do it anymore. I cannot watch the damn fireworks for the 100th time.
it's a long time.
And it's like
Especially when you're
a
so
pack of
tired.
zombies. Like when it's all said and done,
I know.
dude. It is freaking scary.
Where are you staying, PJ? Are you staying at a like?
Airbnb.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's close to this thing, but it's just I can't do it anymore. She's like, no, it's for
It's
the
fun though,
kids.
dude.
No, it's not for the kids,
Yeah,
babe. It's not for the kids. Just admit it. For
it's a
me,
long
to
day.
me.
It's a long day.
After 19 years of being married to you, you are a Disney fanatic.
Yeah.
You know, she's a Disney 23 member.
Honestly,
I didn't
BJ?
I didn't even know that
Honestly, dude,
until recently.
do whatever she wants because
Oh,
all
I
that
do.
shit behind you is that's
know.
just points in the bank.
I know, trust me.
Just bank that shit.
Yeah. So,
Go
But
watch everything
anyway,
she wants.
I sorry I went to the rat.
Did you
But
just say
thank
she'll
you
do
guys
anything you want?
again for watching.
Therapy
She's
session.
not watching.
Anything.
She's not watching this. I
Anything?
promise you.
Yeah.
But
will
thank you
do
guys
anything I
again,
want.
and have a good night. See you guys in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Take care.
So.
Peace.